everybody?
What's up?
Let's not give up the hope for the Cowboys. Justin, we agree on one thing, you West Texas punks. Cowboys.
All right.
Oh, that's one thing I don't agree on.
There's a football game tonight. I forgot about that.
Sorry. I'm the only one that cares.
Last time I knew the Bruins were winning 1-0 against San Jose.
Oh, I saw my father said they were up like 3-0 at one point.
That's good.
3 now? Piss up.
That's good.
I was
Goobies.
FaceTime with my father before coming on here. So
How's it going, everybody on Twitch and YouTube?
Yo.
on the Twitch too.
Yo.
What's up?
We got a very, very, very special show tonight, guys.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be fun.
one that we've been avoiding for a very long time.
Very long time. 4-0, Maki. 4-0.
Or
Yeah.
This is also the
All
last
right.
time Sunday and I will be friends for 3 hours.
Yeah. We're probably not friends right now.
How's it going, Jet, Queen, Vampirus, who have resubscribed for I don't know
Yeah.
how many months because it doesn't show here.
27.
27.
27.
Who's ready for this top 10? Jet US? Neither of us.
Yeah.
I'm also ready.
Nope.
I have my list.
Well, yeah, I'm physically ready, but mentally and emotionally, I would say no.
I am literally only here so I don't get fined.
Maki going beast mode.
I'm here so I do not get fined. That's all that is.
We have Echo. We have Tommy. We have Tommy in chat.
Ooh,
One of the
Tommy.
triplets.
We love it. Say hi to your brothers for us.
Ryan Justice's favorite timekeeper.
For sure. All right. Boys, you ready?
I am actually. This is a harder top 10 than I thought, but I feel like it's going to be fun to talk about.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Do's and Belts Wrestling Chatcast here on Twitch and YouTube. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, as always, and yes, it's been the long-awaited redemption of someone's top 10 list.
Long awaited. Who's been waiting?
The people
Was
who
somebody waiting?
well, apparently everybody in chat's been waiting because they were all here and they can't wait for this. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you to somebody from Rocky Mountain Pro who donated to 500,000 channel points for this day.
500,000 points to do this.
Thanks, Echo. I mean Rocky Mountain Pro.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Echo. I don't think Echo has it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're pretty sure. You can't be 100% though,
I
right?
can't be 100% sure. Before we get on to everything tonight, let's introduce the panel for this evening. On the top left, which God only knows if we're even going to be together after this episode. On the top left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the Beacon of the Week, the one and only Coastal Crusader.
What is up, everybody? I am here. The Cowboys are not currently winning. That breaks my heart, but we're not going to lose faith. We're going to stay strong, and we're going to go through top 10 upsets. There's going to be a whole lot of people you probably never heard of and thought about for a while on this list.
Echo's still saving, don't worry.
He's still saving it. Yeah, for us to do it again.
Top 10 Echo moves.
Top 10 Echo.
Which is a lot of moves because he is the
It's Luke
Mockingbird.
Hancock is number one all the time. It's just
But I
Luke
mean,
Hancock.
if he's the Mockingbird, he does everybody's moves. So you can just pick from the whole any move ever done because he can do it.
On the
I'm
top,
taking his headstand thrust kick that he does. I love that.
on the top right, we have our resident masshole himself, the one and only Marky Pins.
Yes, I am the masshole, and here we are. It is top 10 time yet again, boys. What's it been? About a year? A little over
It's
almost
been
a year
almost
and a half.
2 years, dude.
Almost
Yeah.
2 years
2
since we done it.
years, yeah.
Oh, it should have been 2 more since we did the next one. But since we're here, let's get her done.
And on the bottom, we have the one and only Sunday Night Savior, the other Jeff.
Yeah, top 10s, huh? Am I going to lose my voice tonight? Am I going to yell enough?
It's not a top 20.
Yeah, so at least we got that going for us, and we got the fact that that other dude that you're going to talk about as soon as you're done introducing me isn't here at the beginning as well, so we got that going for us too.
Yes, and speaking of that guy,
for the first hour, yeah.
speaking of the other guy, yes, you saw him last week at his finest. The one and only Triple I will not be here tonight. Well, we'll be here, just not in the first hour of the show.
Hey,
I'm just
Triple I,
happy we
behave
have
tonight. D'Lo Brown's on our show. Behave. And what's he do? Big joke.
The D
I mean,
jokes.
to him, that's behaving. So, I mean,
That is true. No, actually, Triple I was behaved last week. That was actually kind of behaved for him.
Yeah,
I
once
take
he
that
got it
back.
off his chest.
Yeah.
Once he got it off his chest, he was fine.
Don't spit out your drink. It's okay.
No, I'm good. I did that earlier.
Okay.
That drink has already killed him like twice. He's already
Yeah, dude.
like coughed his face off.
That's because he's so
Man.
excited about this show.
Makes you wonder what's in it, right?
All right. This is how we're going to do it. And this
This
is
is
going
how
to
we
be
do it.
this is going to be between both Twitch chat and YouTube chat. I am not going to do the poll for
what she
Twitch
said.
because you stop. Because it's going to be so much navigating through all these tabs that I have open because of the restream. So what we're going to do, kind of what we did the last time, 2 years ago, is that we're going to give our nominations. And then through those nominations, chat, both YouTube and Twitch, will get to pick who is going to be in that number spot. So, and I know it's been 2 years, but Sunday, would you like to explain to the chats who haven't been involved in this yet how they are going to pick our nominations per such spot?
so what's going to happen is we're going to start at number 10 and we're going to work all the way up to number 1. So let's say we were picking our top 10 favorite, football teams. If your favorite football team and you want to be number 1 was the Denver Broncos, and I nominate the Denver Broncos at number 10, you shouldn't be voting for Denver Broncos at number 10. You should be waiting to vote for them at a higher number. So just because the one we nominate is the one you like the most, but you have to see if you want that voted in that spot as well. Because I could pick the Broncos at number 10, Maki could pick them at number 6, Coastal could pick them at number 2, and Johnny could pick them at number 1, and they could get brought up several times along the way. So you have to use your brains and not just go, "Ooh, I like that one, I want that one," because you might think it deserves to be higher on the list. Now there's also the chance that it doesn't show up higher on the list, and you miss out completely. So you gotta play the game a little bit here and kind of guess it out.
Like
But
the rocker Kurt Angle.
Right. So it's all.
They'll be voting for the one at the number that we're picking, not your favorite one of the nominees,
Mm-hmm.
but the number that we're picking at, which is the best choice for that ranking number.
Correct.
And it could be, by chance, because if you like a pick that we nominated maybe at number 9 and you want it to be higher, but nobody else has it higher, well, then you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
So is Triple I only doing a top 5?
I don't know.
Top whatever
Yeah.
he gets to.
No idea what to do with.
So here's what we do. No, I have an idea. Okay.
Okay.
We hold off on the voting. When Triple I comes on, we usually take about a 20-minute break for him to come in and disrupt the show and introduce himself and all that.
That's
So while he's doing that-
actually.
Oh, hold on. So while he's doing that, we'll go through the top 5. If he's not here by 5, we'll stop. And then, as he's doing his Triple I things, when he comes on, Johnny can put up the polls. Triple I, what's your number, what's your number 10? Okay, here's the poll. Vote on 10, guys. Triple I, what's your 9? Okay, and then we can go through that, and we can do the votes for those 5 while he's doing his Triple I stuff.
I mean,
The only thing there is then everybody will know through those will know, like when we put up who's number 10 is and we vote, they'll know.
Oh, we wouldn't vote. We'd wait for eyes.
I know, but what
Oh.
I'm saying, we put up number 10 and then they'll know that I've nominated this for number 9, not number 10. Yeah, you had it at 10. I now have it at 9. Maki now has it at 7. So they can kind of plan it out a little better.
Okay, so the alternative is Eyes doesn't vote on the first 5.
Yes. Honestly,
His-
I don't.
his picks just don't count.
Yeah. When he gets in, he tells us what he had in those spots, but it wouldn't matter by that point. I'm pretty sure that's how we did it.
Okay.
When he wasn't there before, sometimes he'd get in and it'd be number 7. Sometimes
he
he'd get
would
in.
jump in, and then he would tell us what his picks for each of the ones that were already voted upon were.
Yeah.
And then we get to watch him freak out and drink a bottle of lotion or something stupid on the other side of his iPad.
Okay.
And then we carry on. And,
Perfect.
I mean, because he could have been here at 9. We were. He could have been here.
Cool. Let's start this fun.
I say we kick this pig until we get some bacon.
All right. And I know before we start this, technically, today would be our 3-year anniversary of doing this show.
Hey, congratulations to you and Marky for 3 years. I came in much later. So.
If
no.
we only knew how many top 10s.
We didn't even start top 10s until like way later on.
Oh yeah.
It's like 8 months into the whole thing.
Yeah.
I came in September, and we were doing top 10s.
We were doing the before the top 10s. We were doing was it before the top 10s? We were doing the review of people's careers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was after. No, that was after.
No, I didn't do any of those, so it was before.
Oh, it was before.
Was it before?
Yeah, I came in top 10s.
No,
I think it was women.
We went through the Monday Night Wars afterwards, but not the whole wars, like different articles that were in different things. Okay,
We went through the NWO and DX, and
those were good shows. Those were very good shows.
So yes, 3 years, I believe this weekend. I think we are going to do a little bit of a special stream next Sunday for our 3-year. I will probably run through some clips in the past 3 years, and we'll do a little bit of a video montage or something and just kind of reflect on the 3 years.
That's cool.
So we'll probably do that next week. And then after that, I have no idea. We'll probably go back into what we were doing before 2022 was over. So.
Sounds good to me.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
As well as the time changes and everything. Been a little bit chaotic lately, but we're just about through that. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. You guys ready?
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I like this.
I'm cautiously optimistic about this.
All right. Well, before we begin, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've unveiled this, but I think tonight is proper.
Don't do the intro.
No.
No. The referee shirt.
Referee shirt comes out.
Full crunch.
I did too. I thought we were going crunchy intro.
No.
We can do that next week.
John and I talked about this. As the host of the show and the lead dude, he should absolutely be the referee. I relinquished the stripes this evening to Johnny Deathdrop wearing the stripes.
All right.
Making sure that we keep order amongst the chaos.
So are we still going to give Johnny a bunch of crap for his spelling when he types these ones in? Is that still a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. Yeah.
I already said that I'm not doing the poll thing. We're just going to read chat.
You can
but when you type it into the top 10, don't you have a top 10 list that you gotta show where we're at and all that stuff and type them in?
Oh no, I'm not that prepared. This is a one-time only thing. Yeah, we used to do that.
Yeah.
Our host used to be that prepared.
Yeah, no.
Before he became, the Twitch coordinator for a pro wrestling company.
No. So we're hoping that this is a one-time thing.
Please.
So.
Please.
All right. Ref Johnny is here. Yep. It's all official. Yeah. You guys didn't know that. Official WWE right here. I was undercover for the last 5 years. You just don't know it. All right, boys. Top 10. And this was suggested by the founder of Rocky Mountain Pro, by the way, Mercury Yaden.
Correct.
Our official dudes and belts top 10 upsets in wrestling.
I thought I'd never hear that again. Dudes and belts top 10. I thought I'd never hear that.
I love it.
Other than YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah, YouTube,
don't even
you are
watch
in
those
for a
videos
treat
anymore.
because you have not seen this before. People on Twitch has definitely seen this before in multiple ways. We won't bring back our last
This is
top
our
10.
first top 10 on Rocky Mountain Pro's channel, though.
it is.
Yeah, this is true.
Very true. All
Probably
right.
the last two, but okay.
Might be the last time we're on Rocky Mountain Pro's channel.
Things happen, man.
All right, I will do my best to moderate these fine gentlemen. I can't guarantee that it might get a little out of hand during the course of this.
Gentlemen. Who's he
Have the
talking
mute
to,
button ready.
gentlemen?
Have the mute button ready.
Oh,
I should have took the fine.
I got the censor button ready to go. So,
Yeah, right.
7-second delay.
Yeah.
all right.
We're gonna use that up quick.
Top 10 upsets in wrestling. We're starting at number 10. We'll go around the room. Coastal, why don't you lead this off?
He was so happy to do it.
He was.
Break the
Honestly,
ice here, Coastal.
hey, So, number 10, I'm going back to 2004. We're going to go to a Monday Night Raw, and this involves one, The Game. And he comes out, and he's going to go one-on-one with ain't no stopping him now, Shelton Benjamin. And Shelton Benjamin wins this match, and this was a big win for Shelton Benjamin back in 04. He not only beat Triple H on Raw, he also ended up beating Shawn Michaels on Raw too. That was one of those. That was that match where Shawn Michaels had the amazing super kick on him. He ended up winning that, and then he goes on, and it really kind of launched his career. He ends up with an Intercontinental title. He does the gold standard gimmick. But this showed on this particular episode of Raw when he beat Triple H that Shelton Benjamin could be. He did have that it factor, and he did. He unfortunately probably came up with some hard times with upper management pushing him. He's not a giant guy. But I think Shelton Benjamin beating Triple H on Raw is the 10th biggest upset in WWE history.
It was definitely a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn. I do need to write these down. Now I'm
Yeah.
starting to remember how this works.
Ain't no stopping me now.
All right, Mark, you go right ahead. You can start with
All right.
yours. I'll figure this out.
Okay. So mine is from a couple years later. It's also from Monday Night Raw. I don't remember the exact year. John Cena is your champion. A young and up-and-coming Sheamus has been making mincemeat of jobbers and local competitors and other people, literally just ramming his boot down their throats. He is granted a one-on-one title match with John Cena on Monday Night Raw in a tables match. And Sheamus defeats big match John Cena on Monday Night Raw to win his first WWE championship. In a very similar story to Shelton Benjamin, he's somebody who carries the title for a while, but is just not seen in upper management, just not a guy who really, really moved the needle enough. And he was always viewed as a bad guy, as a huge tough guy for a long, long time. But to me, this was a massive upset watching an episode of Monday Night Raw, watching Sheamus defeat John Cena for the WWE title. I don't remember what year that was, but I remember watching it live on TV and absolutely losing my mind that he beat New England's own John Cena.
All right, we're having problems. We're having problems. I cannot find the poll button. It's nowhere.
So
to
we
be
can
found.
postpone this another month, right?
6 years.
No,
6 years.
No, we gotta finish. Why won't it let me do what? This was something that I thought was already on there. Apparently not. All right. Sunday, go right ahead.
So my number 10, I was in the building for. So go back to the beginning of AEW Dynamite. The second episode of AEW Dynamite was in Boston. and they were having their tag team title tournament to determine the very first tag team champions of AEW. And in the first round, the favorite to win the whole tournament was the Young Bucks. They lose to this new up-and-coming team, Private Party. We were in the building. The place went nuts. Private Party went nuts. This was awesome. If you haven't seen this match, the match was fantastic. But like the explosion of the building,
Place went shithouse.
because there wasn't a person in the building that thought the Young Bucks would lose. I think everybody thought the Young Bucks were either going to win that tournament or at least be in the finals of that tournament. So Private Party beating them and going crazy. We were sitting, Private Party, like, I forget which one, I think maybe it was Mark Kwan, came up the aisle. We were kind of in the middle of the row, but they came up the aisle to it, like out in the crowd, because they had gone to commercial. They were still partying the whole time. It was fantastic. You know, Private Party ended up losing a little later on in the tournament, but this cemented them as one of the original top tier tag teams of AEW, you know, to go along with the Lucha Bros, the Young Bucks. There was a couple others at the time that were still, there was I can't think of the name, with Angelico and I can't think of the other guy, but there was a couple other tag teams that were kind of near the top there, but they were cemented right then and there as one of the top tag teams in the company.
Weren't they the hybrid and Angelico and
it was like Hybrid 2.0 or something.
Yeah.
Like
All right, so we had Private Party. Can I go pee-pee?
that.
You would.
Well, I only have so many characters per line, so. Versus
I'm not
Young.
touching that one.
Is it capital PP? Are they big PP?
Private
or
Party
small
versus
PP?
Bucks. We had Benjamin Benjamin.
Would that be Choppy PP?
Benjamin.
That, you know what? That is still one of my favorite Raw segments ever. Honestly, I can remember being a kid and seeing Kai and Tai and the whole Val Venus thing and being like, this is crazy. Like, I had to tune in next week to see if that dude got his thing chopped off. Like, you want to talk about something you have to tune into the next week? Raw went off the air with him sitting and a katana coming down.
Basically, yes. Yes.
For those who haven't seen that are young enough to not know about what we're talking about, just go look up Kai and Tai Val Venus on YouTube. You will not be disappointed.
That's
right.
true.
I need some spelling corrections already.
We figured that.
Benjamin.
BENJ.
It's Benjamin, right?
Okay.
BENJAMIN.
Okay, I got that one.
Benjamin.
And then Seamus.
SHEAMUS. Or SEA.
Or just put FELLA, fella.
All right, we'll go with that one. Oh, we have I Love Pro Wrestling 1234 subscribing to Tier 1 for 30 months.
Hey, thanks.
How you,
Welcome
sir?
back, dude.
All right.
Mr. Fourth Row, what's up, dude?
What's up, Mr. Fourth Row?
Versus. All right. And mine, for number 10, God only knows what Triple I is going to be. Oh, wait, we have Echo subscribing at Tier 1 for 23 months as well.
Go. And we are very close to a hype train over here on Twitch.
And then we have, the Luke redeemed Triple I Show's yearbook photo.
As soon as he gets here, brother. Be about another 45 minutes or so. Hopefully.
That thing is epic. He looks so dapper in that thing.
All right. And my number 10 was on SmackDown, early 2000s. I don't remember the exact year. Very early, like 02, 03. Mine was Zach Gowen defeating The Big Show for a WWE contract.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes.
Zach Gowen, your original one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
That's right.
Yep. he went on to defeat the Big Show with a little bit of help. And then the only thing I can picture at the end of that match was the one-legged moonsault from the top rope onto the Big Show. Very impressive.
The thing I remember about Zach Gowen most is Brock Lesnar. But
Yes.
I think we all do.
So, Zach Gowen versus the Big Show for his first WWE contract, which he has wanted ever since he was a kid. And the fact that he was one-legged made it even special. So, that is my number 10.
He was actually just backstage at WWE recently at SmackDown Around.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, took pictures with him and his kids in the ring and stuff.
Well, that was a 20-year anniversary, so that was 03 then. Yeah. All right. So we are going to have a poll on Twitch. Did you used to be a ref for WWE? No. No. I bought this a long time ago on Amazon, and I only bring it out when we do stuff like this. Because these guys get very rowdy. All right. So number 10 is up. So for everybody on Twitch, you can vote on that poll. For everybody in YouTube, the only thing I need you to do is type in 1, 2, 3, or 4. So number 1 will be Private Party and the Young Bucks. Number 2 will be Shelton Benjamin and Triple H. Number 3 will be Cena versus Sheamus. And number 4 will be Zach Gowen versus The Big Show.
Please, everybody, if you're watching, please cast a vote. It is anonymous. Please push the button. Help us out. Please play along with us.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Please.
Yes.
The more the votes, the merrier. It's a more legitimate answer if there's more votes.
Seriously, yeah. We're playing along. Please play along with us. We'll have a little bit of fun here.
All right.
Cost you absolutely nothing to push a vote button.
Yes, there are no channel points or anything, or bits or anything to vote. It's all free.
It is free 95.
Free 95. Yes, it is free 95.
Which, by the way, I will bring up. No, I'll wait. I'll wait till Tuesday for that one. Tuesday we'll have a little bit of an announcement. Oh,
how's the votes coming in on YouTube? We got some votes over there?
We have a 3 for Queen. So Cena and Sheamus.
Yep. Over here on Twitch, Triple H and Shelton Benjamin are leading the poll 4-2-2.
You know what I did? I didn't change the time on this, so I think this one's like 5 minutes. I'm going to bring that down. Next one.
I would, yeah.
What's up, dudes? Happy Sunday, and thank goodness Johnny got the ref shirt on. I have a feeling he may need to ref a screaming match or 2. Or 20.
Or 20. Hunter remembers. Just like Pepperidge Farm members.
You remember? Pepperidge Farm members.
Pepperidge Farm members.
All right, we have not available with 4 for Zach Gowen and the Big Show. Add that in there.
All right. So we're at 4-3-3. Actually, 4-4-3.
Oh, there's ties. I didn't even mention ties. I forgot about the ties. This is what screwed us in the first place.
So, John, keep track of the votes on YouTube, if you could.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Twitch poll. Okay, yeah. Right now, no votes for Private Party and the Bucks. 3 for Triple H and Shelton. I'm sorry, 4 for Triple H and Shelton. 3 for Cena and Sheamus. And 2 for Zach Gowen and Big Show. Please, if you're in the Twitch chat right now, please push a vote button. Go in there and vote for what you think should be the number 10 biggest upset in wrestling history. Number 10. Not your favorite match. All these matches were pretty cool. And you weren't kidding Sunday when Private Party beat the Bucks that night at the Aganis Arena at Boston University. The place went absolutely banana sandwich to watch the Young Bucks lose that match. But I remember the Young Bucks were actually good about it. They got up and they shook hands afterwards.
Yeah.
They did. But Private Party just brought the house to them, man. They really did.
So what I'll do is We'll put them on paper tonight, and then I'll make a graphic tomorrow and share it.
Okay. I think we're stalling out over here on Twitch with 9 votes.
YouTube, one is type in 1 in chat if you think Private Party versus Young Bucks. Type in number 2 if you think Benjamin versus Triple H. Number 3 if you think it's Cena versus Sheamus. And number 4 if you think it's Zach Gowen versus The Big Show. This is for number 10 on the top
like we
10
have
list.
About 30 seconds left over here on the Twitch in the poll.
Once Twitch runs out, it runs out for everybody, so. Because that's the only time I'm going.
Okay, yeah. Getting close. Get those last second votes in, please.
And what is our winner for number 10?
We'll have to add them together and find out. Looks like the timer just about expired. So Benjamin and Triple H got 4. Cena and Sheamus got 3. Zach Gowen and Big Show got 2 over here on Twitch.
And there was a number 3. There was 1 vote for Cena and Sheamus, and 1 vote for Gowen and Big Show.
Which puts Benjamin and Triple H and Cena and Sheamus at a tie at 4 votes each.
Should we wait for Triple I for number 10?
In the event of a tie, well he's not going to pick one of them.
Yeah, what's hard there is if we waited for him and then we don't know if somebody else picked one of those matches coming up and it ends up being 10, so it can't be 9. You know what I mean? It screws up the whole thing.
All right. Because I don't vote, Cena and Sheamus will get number 10.
Oh. I remember watching that and thinking something was funny because we were going to see a WWE title match on Monday Night Raw in an era where they really didn't do it that much.
I didn't think that was a Raw match.
It was.
I thought that was at TLC. It was a tables match.
It was on a Monday Night Raw. It was a tables match, but it was on a Monday Night Raw.
I could have sworn that was TLC.
All right. Let's get
because he won a battle royal. There was a battle royal that was Jesse Ventura was the guest GM that day, and he said he wanted a battle royal with anybody that had never won the WWE title. The winner would get a WWE title shot. I remember that Monday Night Raw that battle royal happened that Sheamus won, but I thought the title shot happened at the pay-per-view. But I could be wrong. It could be misremembering.
Well, looks like Dallas's football season is over. Sorry, Coastal. That's just going to get Coastal fired up for the rest of the show now.
It sure is.
Yep, he's already starting. Here we go, folks. All right. You guys ready for number 9?
Yeah.
All right. For number 9, and I encourage everybody on YouTube and Twitch, don't be shy. Vote. Will definitely help us in the future. Hopefully I don't have to make any more picks. All right. Number 9, Marky, we'll start with you.
So I'm going to give it from one paisano to mi altro paisano. The Milan Miracle, Santino Marella. He beat Umaga in the middle of the ring to become the Intercontinental Champion, albeit with a little help from Bobby Lashley. All right, all the help in the world from Bobby Lashley. However, there was a lot of help from Bobby Lashley. But we all remember this. This was absolutely hilarious. Raw and WWE were doing a European tour. They were in Milan, Italy, and they pulled Santino Marella out of the crowd. And he had the coolest back tattoo any one of us had ever seen with the big giant lion on his back. And he beats Santino Marella in the greatest home field advantage match you've ever seen in your life in WWE. And it started, the thing about this, it started the honkometer when Santino Marella was the greatest intercontinental champion of all the times.
All right, so we have
Upset the Bella.
I have that one higher, but it's on my list.
Yeah.
so we have Santino versus Umaga.
Same
Yes.
here.
Coastal. I mean, sorry,
So-
Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to go in order here.
So mine, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Go back to the 1999 WCW Monday Nitro. You got Rey Mysterio Jr. against Kevin Nash. Mysterio had just lost his mask the night before on the pay-per-view against Nash. Comes in, gets the rematch the next night, and Rey Mysterio Jr., all 5'5" of him or whatever he is, beats the 7-foot tall Kevin Nash back in February, almost exactly 24 years ago. Rey Mysterio Jr. beating Kevin Nash. Just the size difference alone, no matter what you think of Mysterio, but you got to remember what you think of him now. He wasn't thought of the same way in 1999. He was a big fan favorite, and everybody wanted to watch him go. But everybody saw him just as a cruiserweight at the time. This changed everything when it came to that. This match alone, I think, is one of the reasons why WWE has put the championship on Mysterio on a couple different occasions, because he's looked at as more than just a cruiserweight after this match. I think, but I mean, I don't think anybody in the world thought they'd ever see Mysterio beat Kevin Nash in a one-on-one.
Not
Coastal.
wrong.
Oh, my number 9, we're going to go back around, the early 2000s, 03, 04, somewhere in there, maybe 05. And it involves The Rock, and nobody beat The Rock, especially on Raw. That was kind of Rock's game. But all of a sudden, we needed to stand back because there's a hurricane coming through. And Hurricane pulls off the most electric upset. I watched this match today on the network just to see what the crowd pop was like when he won. Oh my God. It was Yeselmania level almost when the Hurricane beat The Rock, who was a heel at the time. He was Hollywood Rock. He was out there with the guitar and he was doing the rock concerts. And this was a good thing for Hurricane. He was a great guy in the company. He'd been there a while. The Hurricane gimmick was over like Rover. He didn't have his superhero in training anymore, which I felt bad about because Rosie was the man. But Hurricane beating The Rock on Raw, it was just great.
All right. And my number 9 was on a SmackDown around 2000, late 2002, 2003. It was for the Hardcore Championship when Tough Enough winner Maven went one-on-one with The Undertaker and beat him. Thanks to The Rock.
That's right.
This is higher on my list, but yeah, it's
Is
on.
it?
I wanted to put that on my list, but I thought you would have destroyed me if I put something where The Undertaker was losing. I thought you would have killed me if I put that on there.
Boy, he's going to be pissed at me.
No, I did it myself. Thank you.
I know. That's why well, shit. I should have done something different.
Maven versus The Undertaker with a huge upset. And Al Snow was in his corner. He was on the outside, cheering Maven on the entire time. Rock came in for the big interference right there. Rock bottom
This
The
was
Undertaker.
after the Royal Rumble elimination.
Yes, it was.
Too.
Maven has eliminated and pinned The Undertaker in his career. No,
He's also been thrown through a popcorn machine.
he
by
was.
the
Yes,
Undertaker,
he
too.
was.
Oh, he paid for his transgressions.
So Maven versus The Undertaker is my pick. All right. Chat and on Twitch, the poll is going to be coming up. On YouTube, the only thing you guys need to do is type in 1, 2, 3, or 4. Type number 1 if you think Santino Marella versus Umaga deserves the number 9 spot. Type in 1. Type in number 2 if you think that Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Nash on Nitro deserves to be number 9 on the upset list. Type in number 3 if you think that The Rock versus Hurricane Helms deserves to be the number 9 spot on the upset list. And type in number 4 if you think that Maven versus The Undertaker for the Hardcore Championship on SmackDown deserves to be number 9 on the top 10 upset list. The poll's going out now. You guys are in charge of the Twitch chat. I am currently looking at YouTube right now as we speak.
Very good.
What was the better, honestly, who turned a better terrible gimmick into something than Rosie when he was the superhero in training?
Oh my God.
How do you go from being a completely dominant tag team called 3 Minute Warning to superhero in training?
I wonder if he went to the South Harmon Institute of Technology.
I just watched Accepted a couple weeks
That's
ago.
such a
I love
I
that
love
movie.
it.
So
I love
underrated.
it.
Good.
So
So
underrated.
All right, we have a 3. We have a 3 over here in YouTube.
I'm eating
Ooh.
what?
Ask me about my I love when he's chasing him. He's like, "No, ask me about my wiener."
Yeah.
It's like his first movie or one of them.
You know the shit sandwiches?
I call it a wad. I put all the best flavors of everything into one thing. Here, eat my wad.
See, folks, this is what we did before memes. You just sat around quoting movies.
We
like
quoted movies for like days.
Accepted and Anchorman. And
We could have entire
Step Brothers.
conversations. We would have entire conversations convey complete ideas and opinions with nothing but movie quotes. Nothing.
Yeah,
There were no. We called them.
You go through
quotes
Major
back-
League. You go through Tin Cup. You go.
Right.
You go through all the Will Ferrell movies of the early 2000s.
Damn it! If you were gonna call me, you could have at least said you were from the Yankees.
not funny. It says right here
All
in my contract, I don't have to do any unnecessary calisthenics. What do you think of that?
All right.
Yeah.
Just a repeat. Obviously, if you're in Twitch chat, vote on who you think should be number 9 in the poll. YouTube chat, vote 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Over here in the Twitch chat, we got a 3 spot up for Rock versus Hurricane. We have 2 for the Milan Miracle, 1 for Maven versus The Undertaker. What do you got over there in YouTube land?
I only got the 3.
And again,
Come on,
necessarily
everybody.
doesn't mean that it needs to be here. It's just out of these 4 choices, what is the one that deserves to be at 9?
Right. Come on, everybody. Push a button, please. What do you think?
Yeah, you guys made us do this in the first place, so
Seriously. Yes.
it's all on you.
Yeah,
It's all on you.
Y'all kind of owe us one here.
You reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
right.
large regular and stuff.
So we have The Rock and
And West
Hurricane.
Texas still sucks.
That was number 3.
That was 3.
That
That's
was
a
number
clear
3.
winner over
Yeah,
here.
that's a clear winner right there. We have The Rock versus Hurricane Helms.
That is a pretty pisser upset, and that deserves to be on the list. That was very, very.
I have that one a little higher.
It's good for The
Oh,
Rock. to
by
do
the
something
way-
like that, something like that to happen.
Get ready for the complaining of Triple I when nobody picks his pick.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
why'd you
I
tell
can't
him?
wait.
Why'd you tell him?
I'm just giving y'all a heads
Here
up.
come the conspiracy theories.
Yes, there we
again.
go. It's going to happen. All right.
Holy
All right,
crap!
moving along.
We got 2 in an hour. This is beyond pace for us.
I know.
We're also not bickering at each other, too, after 2.
Yeah.
It's early. We haven't done it yet. We haven't gotten to the meat and potatoes of this thing yet. We just started. Plus, Triple Stupid's not here yet, so we don't know.
All right. Got through 2. Number 8. I'm going to start with Sunday.
All right. So mine, I'm going back in time. Going all the way back to 1987. So we all remember WrestleMania 3, Steamboat beating Savage for the IC title. It's one of the biggest, most talked about matches of all time. Nobody talks about how Steamboat ended up losing that IC title. He lost it to the Honky Tonky Man.
The Honky Man.
The Honky Tonky Man at that time was no more than just your average mid-carder type guy. But
he was Jerry Lawler's cousin, though.
Yes, Wayne Ferris. So that June of 1987, just a few months after Steamboat wins that IC title, and this is in an era when title reigns were 8 months at minimum, usually year plus. So the story I've heard about this is Steamboat wins that title, it goes into the summer, and then that summer, Steamboat asks for time off, which you just didn't do back then. You worked your 340 days a year.
And you just had a kid, too.
Yeah, and you were happy to do it. So the rumor is Vince McMahon was walking backstage, all pissed off, going, "So who are we gonna give the title to?" Like angrily, and then just walks by Honky Tonk Man and goes, "Him, put it on him tonight." And it was on a Superstars of Wrestling taped in Buffalo, New York, and this was the beginning of the Honky Tonk Man's 63 weeks or whatever it was.
63 weeks.
Yes, but yes,
on the honkometer.
But Honky Tonk at that point was a fairly well known name. Like nobody expected him. He didn't win matches. He was basically a jobber. Like
you mean DDP hadn't driven his Cadillac yet?
Correct. So him coming up and beating Steamboat for the Intercontinental title was huge upset at that time. Nobody expected it, and then nobody expected him to hold it for as long as he did. Eventually losing it to the Ultimate Warrior in 9 seconds or whatever it was. At
SummerSlam.
Yeah, SummerSlam.
Give me somebody out here to wrestle. Hey, I don't care who it is.
He lasted a little longer than Triple H did at WrestleMania against the Ultimate Warrior. At least Warrior took his coat off in that match.
I mean, Warrior's total time in WrestleMania matches, and he probably had 7 of them, is probably 9 minutes.
Oh no, the Hogan match is way beyond everything he ever did.
Yeah, Hogan got a good match out of Warrior. But yes, Honky Tonk Man over Ricky Steamboat in 1987 for the IC title. That's Superstars of Wrestling. Man. That's my number 8.
All right. Coastal, what do you got?
My number 8, we're going to go to WrestleMania, and we are going to go to New York WrestleMania. And this one holds a special place in my heart because one of these gentlemen is from my great state of Maine. And this is when Chris Jericho does what Chris Jericho does best and puts young talent over. And it is when Mr. Jericho lost to Fandango at WrestleMania in one of Fandango's first main roster matches. It was amazing to watch. I think this is what Jericho does best, and we're seeing it right now with the current, I can't remember his name in AEW, Action Andretti. He's helping to put Andretti over in much the same way he tried to with Fandango. Fandango, unfortunately, this win didn't mean a whole lot in his career. It was a great win, one of the biggest upsets in WrestleMania history. Unfortunately, the best part of Fandango's career either had to be Tyler Breeze or Summer Rae. He unfortunately didn't get a whole lot in there. He does get a tag team with Tyler Breeze, and it's really great. But I just think this was a great win because it shows what Jericho does great, and it's recognizing talented young people and putting them over and helping further the business he loves. This was a great win because, number one, it happened at Mania, and no one thought Chris Jericho was going to lose at Mania to Fandango, of all people. So I just think it was great. It shows that anything can happen at Mania.
Marky.
Just to add a little bit to that, there's a great page called Inside the Ropes that does a lot of really good interviews with superstars in auditorium type settings. Paul Heyman, Chris Jericho, Goldberg, Bret Hart. There is a segment where Chris Jericho talks about this
Yaden?
When McMahon called him in the office and told him he was going to be working through. Go back and try to find it. And I say this because that's exactly what I also picked at number 8.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Fandango over Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 29. I am not switching it with my number 7 pick because I think number 7 is a bigger upset than this number 8 pick. So the Coastal and I are kind of sticking together on this one. I'm going with Fandango. I'm going to second that.
All right. The one who picked...
We did not work that. That was legit random.
That's a shoot.
Yep.
All right. The one who created this subject, Mr. Yaden, is in YouTube chat right now.
What's up, Yaden?
What's up, Yaden?
Yaden.
All right, so we have 2 for Jericho versus Fandango. That does not mean an automatic 2 votes for that. That just means that we have 1 less space to fill.
Yeah, great minds think alike, baby.
And
Woo!
so mine, for number 8, is an up-and-comer from NXT called Kevin Owens. Makes his main roster debut and goes in and challenges Mr. John Cena himself, Mr. 16-time, and ends up beating him in his main roster debut. That is my number 8.
There's a cool, again, Marky talks about like cool videos about this. You can go back and there's, I think it is one of either the 24 or something they did on Kevin Owens. And he talks about this moment and how his son, who is taller than him now and is jacked, by the way, if you go look at a modern picture of him. But this was back in, I think, 15 or 16. And he talked about how his son is just a John Cena mark.
Yeah.
And he did not tell him he was making his main roster debut against John Cena, let alone that he was going to win. And when you see like the video that his wife took of it, as a dad, it melts my heart. It's amazing because that is what wrestling means to so many of us. If we could harness that little boy's emotion, that is what every one of us feel when things happen in wrestling sometimes.
One of the greatest things that you could do if you're involved in this great sport is to work your family and friends, including your children. I love messing with my kids when I go to shows and I know something's going to happen and they don't. Fantastic.
All right, so we only have 3 choices for number 8. What time is it right now? It's 10:05. Do we do number 7 and stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. No, Lucas, you haven't missed any kind of altercations just yet. It's
No,
actually
we've been civil.
We must have forgot how to do this.
All right.
It's our
So,
old age.
Twitch chat, you will have the poll up. You guys will just click a button. For YouTube, you're going to type in 1, 2, or 3. If you think number 1, Steamboat versus Honky Tonk Man for the IC title.
You should have put Honky Tonky Man.
I'm not going to put Honky Tonky Man. Steamboat versus Honky Tonk Man for the IC title at number 1. Type in number 1 if you think that deserves number 8 on the upset list. Number 2, if you think Chris Jericho versus Fandango at WrestleMania New York. I think that was 27.
29.
Oh, 29?
It was 29.
Oh, wait. 27 was in Atlanta. Yeah, you're right. Jericho versus Fandango at WrestleMania 29 deserves to be number 8 on the upset list. Or if you think KO versus Cena, it should be number 3. Type in number 3 if you think Cena versus KO would be number 8 on the upset list. All starting now. And we just sit and wait.
That is
I will
wild.
say I've met Fandango. He's a pretty cool dude. He really is. He's very down to earth. I actually have a buddy who works at a lumber yard down in southern Maine. And when Fandango messed his shoulder up, I think right before the pandemic, I was talking to him and he goes, Dango walked in and he goes, I need some lumber. I'm building my mom and dad a deck while I'm on rehab. So he'd sat there and shot the shit with him for like 10, 15 minutes, talk wrestling. So they say that, some of these guys are pretty, I think it's getting better from what I hear. Like back in kayfabe, I understand like they couldn't talk with people all that much, but I kind of like this better where you can understand that they're people outside of the ring too, Except MJF. He's 100% true kayfabe and will flip your kids off at the airport.
You're mispronouncing it. It's Fa Dang Go.
Dong. Go.
I'm from Maine. It's Fandango. Yeah.
Fandango.
That Dango guy. Dango guy?
The
All
Fandango guy, bub.
YouTube, we
Yes,
only have 1 vote right now with 1, and it's not available. YouTube, just type in 1, 2, or 3. It's free. You don't got to pay anything.
No, please
Type
just
in
give
1,
us a
2,
type.
3.
Just give us a number so we can add up some scores over here on the Twitch. Jericho versus Fandango at WrestleMania 29 has 4. Steamboat versus Honky Tonk Man has 1. Nope. Jericho and Fandango has 5. Now, thank you. Somebody pushed a button. We appreciate you.
We have a 4 in YouTube.
How can there be we only have 3 choices?
That's true. Why is there a 4?
With 7 versus Jericho and Fandango now.
Queen, there is no 4. There's only 3 this one because we had one with the same. I think Marky and Coastal agreed on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I would think that maybe Queen meets KO and Cena, because that would have been the fourth.
That would have been the
Oh,
4th. Yeah.
one.
So add 1 for Cena and KO.
All right, so it has 1.
I'm not expecting my picks to be picked.
All I said was that it has 1.
Yeah.
You said add 1. That's just math and stuff.
Math and stuff.
Math and stuff. Jericho and Fandango has 7.
I lost math when they started adding letters and stuff to it.
Me too, dude. Me too. Right when we got to algebra and they started, what is X equal to? And I'm like, X isn't a number. How can it be equal to something?
Hey, all I need to know is adding and subtracting spares, strikes, and boxes. All I need is math for.
No, because we need to learn how to divide to do averages too.
Oh, that's true.
We had to divide.
Your total divided by 3, 5, or 10.
Exactly.
That's all we need.
And you guys notice how I spelled Jericho right? That took me like 10 top 10 lists to get that right.
He started having like a Q in there somewhere.
Jerique.
Jamiroquai.
Iroquois.
Virtual insanity.
All right, so we have Jericho versus.
Hunter makes a good point. Is this Steiner math we're doing?
A little bit. bit.
So we
If
have
that's what it takes.
we have Jericho versus Fandango.
Hey, I'm just going to say I'm 3 for 3. So I don't think the next one's going to win on my list, though. It's acquired taste. So.
I'm not going to have any left.
No, you're not. I got 1. I got number 10. We had the dividing pick. No, coach picked.
Okay. All right.
Ref made a discretionary call.
You could have just put Y2J. It doesn't matter. It's still Jericho.
I'm surprised he spelled Y2J right.
You could have put Painmaker, too.
I could have done a lot of things.
The Wizard.
But I was practicing my spelling considering the last 12 top 10s I spelled it wrong, so.
All of them.
Well, Jets from Canada, remember, they put Q's and stuff, and they spell center wrong.
Yeah, the word check has a Q in it.
Yeah, and center's R-E.
Century.
Flying around.
And they put that dash at the top. They put that dash at the top.
Yeah, the accent, weird E's and stuff, yeah.
All right. Moving on.
All right. Let's do number 7, and then we'll wait for stupid.
Yeah.
He might even pop in during this one. We'll see
Yeah,
what he does.
we're in the range right now. We're in the range.
Number 7. I will start because Triple I is not here. My number 7. Where the hell is it? Did I have a number 7? Yes, I do, right there. My number 7 is going back to WrestleMania 21. It is the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Rey Mysterio versus Triple H versus Randy Orton. And Rey Mysterio defies the odds, becomes the ultimate little man, and wins the World Heavyweight Championship in front of 25,000 people, roughly. 21 was in Hollywood, I think.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
in California. So, Rey Mysterio versus Orton versus Triple H, with Mysterio winning the World Championship at number 7. Coastal.
It's actually back-to-back WrestleManias that had triple threat main events, because 20 the year before was Michaels, Triple H, and Benoit.
Yep.
Which was interesting. So my number 7, this is kind of an acquired taste. So number 7, I'm going to go back to 1999 Monday Nitro. May have even been 2000. It was kind of when they were trying to get the younger guys over. And this is an actual very interesting match because it involves one Hulk Hogan. But he doesn't win. And it's actually Billy Kidman beating Hulk Hogan on Nitro.
I was just talking about this behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a match that honestly I don't think anybody ever saw Hogan, number one, losing on a Nitro, even though he did to Lex Luger way back in the day. But at this point in his career, no one thought Hogan would especially lose to Billy Kidman on Nitro. And I just thought it was a good nod because, let's face it, Billy Kidman was a really, really, really talented wrestler, great in the ring, and he really had some great matches against everybody, be it from when he started out as Kidman in the Flock, when he used to itch himself all the time, all the way up into WWE when he was the Cruiserweight champion in that. He's had a really great career overall, and I just think this is a great one that he could put in his cap and say, as he trains people now, yeah, I can train you. Oh, yeah, I'm not that big. I beat Hulk Hogan. Like, just kind of cool to say that, hey, I beat Hulk Hogan on TV.
Marky.
So at number 7, I also have a triple threat match. And it involved, well, it's not necessarily a triple threat, but it was 2 matches with 3 guys. It was Vengeance 2001. Chris Jericho, of all people, becomes the first undisputed champion, beating Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the exact same night. Some don't call it an upset. I do.
Does that count as a one match though?
Yeah, it's truly one match, but
it's close enough. Like the fact of him winning that, the whole thing kind of goes together. Because nobody says, "Oh my goodness, he beat Triple H." I mean, he beat Stone Cold Steve Austin for the belt, or he beat The Rock. And
he made sure to say that he beat both of them in the same night multiple times.
Yeah,
right.
And he was a WCW guy, so him going over homegrown WWE talent at the time was unheard of.
Right. So number 7, that's where I have Chris Jericho being the first ever undisputed champion.
Yes, and I am going to put Y2J on this one because I don't have enough characters.
Yeah.
And Sunday, you're number 7.
So my number 7, I go back not that long ago, about 5.5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, to 2017's Backlash. We see one Mr. Jinder Mahal beating Randy Orton for the WWE Championship.
Oh my God, yes.
Was that the Punjabi prison match, or was that the next match they had?
No, I think that was the next one. I think he was already champion for the Punjabi prison match. So, you know, Jinder obviously was way back in the 3MB days. He gets released. He comes back jacked out of his mind.
Or Heath Slater.
Yeah. Yeah, because he stayed.
He's the only guy out of that group to not win a world title.
Yeah.
And he's got kids, man.
Yeah, and he's got kids. I don't give a shit about your kids. But yeah, so Jinder comes back, and he gets on a little bit of a roll. He gets some good wins here and there. But then all of a sudden he gets he wins like a 6-pack challenge on a Raw or a SmackDown or something like that to earn a championship match against the current champion, Randy Orton, who's a surefire Hall of Famer, 15-time champion or whatever he is, 15-time champion. And I think everybody thought this was, we're going to kind of, build Jinder up by having him have a main event match against Randy Orton, not expecting him to win in any shape or form. And he wins, and he's the new WWE champion at that time, and held it for a little bit, defended it a few times. Wasn't just like a one and done, wasn't a transitional champion. He held it for like a whole summer.
And he didn't lose it on American soil either. He lost it in England.
Yep. So at first everybody was like, why is this guy champ? And by the end, it was a decent reign. I think he had some good wins, told a decent story. He had the Singh brothers. It was a pretty good one, but I think that original win was a monstrous upset.
All right. We're going to do this again. Twitch chat, you will have the poll. All you have to do is click a button. YouTube specifically, because you guys haven't been voting as much. You guys will be typing in 1 through 4. Type number 1 if you think Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton versus Triple H at WrestleMania 21 should be number 7 on the upset list. Type number 2 if you think Billy Kidman versus Hulk Hogan on a Nitro.
Was 21, Johnny.
No, it's 22, I think.
Is it 22?
Yeah, 21 was Batista Triple H in the main event.
Oh, and 21
And
was Cena and JBL.
Cena and JBL,
Yes, you're
yeah.
right. So 22.
And 21, Mysterio had it was Mysterio and Eddie.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for the contract. The
No,
ladder
that was
match, right?
SummerSlam. That was
Yeah.
SummerSlam. Was
That was
the ladder
SummerSlam?
match for Dominic.
Yeah.
For Dominic, the baddest man in prison now.
All right. Correction. Orton versus Triple H versus Mysterio at WrestleMania 22. Type in number 2 if you think that Kidman versus Hogan on Nitro should be number 7 on the upset list. Type in number 3 if you think Y2J versus Rock versus Austin should be number 7 on the upset list. And type number 4 if you think Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship should be number 7 on the upset list. Poll is going up now. Yeah, don't say that too loudly, Hunter. They'll hear you.
22 also had the Edge and Mick Foley match with the flaming table.
Oh, that was fantastic.
I got to go back and watch that one.
Was pisser.
I love hearing Mick Foley talk about that. How, you know,
I watched it today with Austin when he talked about it with Austin. And how... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say he was talking about how he felt like he hadn't had a WrestleMania moment. Edge hadn't really been like people didn't believe him as a main eventer quite yet, and he thinks because they didn't think Edge was tough enough. He thought he was too pretty boyish for that combination of him getting his WrestleMania moment and Edge getting looked at in a different light. He thinks it's like some of the best work of his career.
I love it when he's talking about how he was doing lighter fluid, and he's like, all right, we had a limited amount of time because people don't realize is that stuff dries up quick, which is why you see Lita continuing after he gets knocked down, dumping lighter fluid on it. When she lights it, he goes, you see me look back. He goes, I shouldn't have looked back.
I don't know.
Can you imagine
guys.
looking back and being like, it's on fire, and then all of a sudden you see an Edge charge at you?
You know it's over soon. That's the only solace that you can take.
And at least you have a t-shirt and flannel on. You're not shirtless like Edges diving into fire.
Yeah.
We have Jet replying in Twitch, screaming from the mountains. We need it to go off the rails. Jet wants us to go off the rails.
I think we're mellowing out in our old age.
Yeah.
I think we're all mellowing out a little bit. This is going far more smoothly than I thought it would.
I think part of it is that it's not like a normal top 10. Like, I guarantee you, if we were doing like top 10, like active males and females like we did last time.
Yeah, it'd be a little more testy.
It would be a little bit more testy. This one's kind of different.
You guys don't have Vader in your top 3?
There was a match.
There was a match.
That Vader's involved.
No, listen, okay. If no one has it on their list, does anyone have anything from Starrcade on their list? Because we could talk about this.
No.
No.
Okay. The 93 or 94 Starrcade when Flair came back, when he faced Vader, and they did the whole lead up. 93 when he left the house, and Charlotte's in that shot if you look, and Reed and David, and he leaves. He's in the limo talking to Mean Gene about how this is it. He's going to retire, and he loses to Vader, and oh my god, I ate that up as a kid. It was in Charlotte to begin with,
Simmons over Vader. That was the one I was thinking.
That's a good one.
I was considering that one on my list. There's a few I considered that didn't make it. That was one I considered. But I just think Simmons, just because of his size, strength, his like football acumen, all that stuff, I think it was a little more believable than some of the other ones I put on the list.
What's funny is actually Vader's manager booked that at that point. He was with Harley Race, and Harley booked that match for Vader to lose.
Yeah.
All right, we have Billy Kidman and Hogan.
Yes, we do. 4-1 to 1.
Dude, Billy Kidman wins at life. He's like a producer now. He's married to Tori Wilson, or he was. He got to beat Hulk Hogan. Dude just wins.
All right, and this is where we're putting a pause on it until I shows up, because we're right around that time where he shows up. All right. So far, so good, Chad. I haven't had to step in.
We
at
don't
all.
want to do 6, and then we can start with eyes at 5. And if he pops in at 6, it's okay.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I thought we get through 5. Yeah, we're halfway done. And we can wait for eyes.
All right, we'll continue with number 6.
All right.
I'm with that.
With that.
Coastal.
Okay, number 6. We're gonna go back into the late 90s, and this is where I bring out my power. The Hebrew Hammer, Barry Horowitz, beat and skip, and then the crowd pops huge. And actually, Barry Horowitz just ends up getting him a pay-per-view match, and in your house against Skip in a return match. He wins there on pay-per-view. The man started out he was that guy. And my wife, Mrs. Coastal, always says this: if you are in the ring when your opponent's getting introduced, you're in for a bad time. And that is
not wrong.
Yeah,
It's one of those truisms.
That is what Barry Horowitz was up until this point. And they had it. And come on, Chris Candido. Number one, he had Sunny at this point before she went way off the rails and was still an in thing in WWE. And Chris Candido was an amazing wrestler. And for him to do this with Barry Horowitz, I think it was just great. And come on, who doesn't love Barry Horowitz? It was he was over for like the whole summer after this. It made another upset that I have on my list that happened on Raw a bunch of years later possible, in my opinion.
All right, Marky. You're number 6.
So, right here at number 6, it's already been mentioned actually by you, Johnny Deathdrop. This is where I have Kevin Owens making his main roster debut and beating up John Cena. He's going to go to the ring, he's going to carry his belt, and he's going to beat up John Cena. And that's exactly what he did. He walked out and he beat up John Cena, and he had the balls to hold up the NXT title over John Cena's
stood on
Marcus.
He stood on the U.S. title when he did it.
He stood on it, and he held up the NXT title, and it was just glorious. It was beautiful, and all I could hear was Jim Ross in the back of my mind when Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Shawn Michaels at Mania 14. The Austin era has begun. The Owens era has begun. And we were introduced to this wrecking ball on the main roster that was Kevin Owens. It worked out pretty good for a long, long while, and then he ran into Goldberg. And that changed a few things. But anyway, we're going to get to...
Every time he hears Goldberg's music, he just huddles in a corner.
It's like, yeah, wicked. He's just like shaking and kind of twitching. But yeah, number 6, I have Kevin Owens beating up John Cena.
All right, Sunday.
Yep.
So my number 6 actually involves Owen as well, just a different Owen. The name that Kevin named his last name and his son's name after is one Owen Hart, and I have him beating his bigger brother Brett at WrestleMania 10 as my number 6. So Owen was a... Oh.
There he is. Perfect.
I told you guys.
So Owen was a star at this point and everything, but Brett's the multiple-time champion. Actually had a championship match later that night. So I think a lot of people didn't see Owen winning that match, at any chance there. But Owen with a roll-up gets the win over his brother to open up WrestleMania 10. I get that as my number 6.
It's my favorite opening WrestleMania match of all time, and my second favorite Mania match of all time. I'm an Owen Hart mark. I'm sorry.
Love me some Owen. And if you ever go back and watch, the tribute to Owen night when all the guys kind of after he passed and all the guys were talking about him.
The Benoit match. Oh my God, it's so good.
But you hear like what Triple H was saying about him and all these guys and how everybody loved the dude. So.
Yeah, when they did the Benoit match on Nitro with Brett.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
technical masterpiece.
Yeah, and Owen Hart he could be on this list a couple times, but oh my God.
Hi, Eyes.
Guys.
Oh, what's up?
What's your number 6?
Give me 1 second.
Okay, what's your number 6?
That was a full second.
You come in at 10:30 and you're like, give me a second.
I had some plumbing issues at home.
At the house or internal?
No. You know what? He did phrasing well there because it could go either way. He's learning. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah, too bad he couldn't learn a week ago.
Well,
Better late than
day
never.
late and $1 short story, Triple I's life.
Yeah. All right. So, whew. I memorized everything.
That must have been one hell of a plumbing issue.
Yeah, it was easy, but then whatever. No surf another day. It's
Yep.
easy. So I heard someone mention Owen versus Brett at WrestleMania 10. Owen defeating Brett in the opening match. Definitely an upset. I don't have that as my number 6 though. That was lower. So I have a few on my list.
Okay.
I have a few lists on my. I'm getting to. I have a few on my list, Johnny.
What the hell is your number 6?
I'm leading into that. I'm leading into that.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, alphabet soup.
I just told you I had some plumbing issues. I am weaning myself back into
Yeah, you have diarrhea of the mouth.
the diarrhea of your life. Shut your ass, all right?
All right, here we go. This is the beginning of the end, folks. We lasted through 4 picks.
My number 6 upset is not a match. That's what I was trying to get. That's what I was trying to tell you.
What?
All right.
What is
It's
going
not
on
like-
here?
My number 6.
No idea.
A few of my moments, a few of my upsets on this list aren't actual matches, but not a singles match at least. So my number 6 pick,
What the?
my number 6 pick, believe it or not, is like it's gonna sound weird, but it's an elimination in a Royal Rumble match. Because
But it's
these
still
are
a
people-
match.
It's still a match. It's an upset. People that no one would see coming. So I have Maven drop kicking and eliminating the Undertaker in a Royal Rumble match. It's a match technically, and that was an upset. Undertaker losing by Maven of all people.
Okay.
So that's what I was trying to get into. I just didn't want to come across as a complete shocker. I was trying to wean into it.
Nothing you do shocks us anymore.
Number 1 biggest upset in pro wrestling. I showing up to the show.
God.
They're your Brussels sprout size.
Yep,
That's
they are.
screwed up. Give me my Diet Coke.
So are we actually counting that? Is that a thing?
I mean, he said it.
He said it. Put it on the vote.
It's not my only one.
Oh, brother.
Dude, if you have a promo in there,
I swear to God.
you don't have Shawn Michaels kicking Marty Jannetty through a window, do you?
I was just going to say, is the barber shop on there?
Damn it.
Oh, he did. Oh, no.
And probably the Ultimate Warrior losing to the casket, too, was probably on there. If anybody remembers that traumatizing experience from our childhood.
So how am I supposed to write this in? Okay, so Maven.
Maybe
Eliminate-
eliminates the Undertaker.
In the RR. Which, by the way, it's my favorite time of year, everyone. It's Royal Rumble season.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It's coming Saturday.
Yeah.
Are we going to do the pool? Do you want me to pull numbers for everybody?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
What is it? What do you mean? What is that?
So what we do is it's no money. I mean, some of my buddies play it for money. So yeah, you're too cheap. I know that. So what? There's 5 of us. So I'll do 6 apiece. We'll do 6 rounds. I'll spin a wheel, and we'll numbers 1 through 30. If your guy, whoever comes in at that number, wins, you win. A lot of people do $5 a pull, and you get numbers. We do it at the bowling alley where I go. We have a bunch of us.
I'm in a couple $50 a pull.
Oh wow!
Royal Rumble pools. Yeah.
Just
Couple
wait. The only person.
20s.
Yeah.
Don't tell me there's gambling to be done.
Oh yeah.
Tell me
There's
there's gambling to be done. Get your scratchies in along with your large regular. Put your money
Oh,
on
yeah.
the Rumble guy. All right?
Yeah.
You gotta get your scratchies. You gotta get your pick 3, pick 4s,
Yeah, you gotta do it. Gotta play your numbers.
your dailies,
Yeah.
straight box morning, day and night drawings.
Lucas goes, it's not really an upset since Maven didn't win the match.
Right, but Undertaker getting eliminated by Maven, like so. Undertaker, there was a loss in there, though. If that makes sense.
Yeah, there was almost a
There
loss
wasn't.
of life when Maven ended up eating a popcorn machine.
Oh, and the chair, the steel chair. Oh god, that was bad.
That was the second most deliberate chair shot in Royal Rumble history. Well, no, it was the 9th, the 8th that The Rock had on Mankind, or the top 8 spots.
All right, so I have for my pick an actual match, and
Good.
it is going
Good.
to be No Way Out, Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar for the World
Ooh.
Championship,
I hadn't
Okay,
considered that one.
yeah.
That's a
Good
one.
pick.
with,
Good pick.
with Eddie Guerrero winning the title.
I just watched that recently.
So did I.
So
I
good.
actually saw the promo leading up to it too. One of the
Oh,
best promos.
the one where Eddie's mom has the heart attack?
No,
Oh, no, that was the JBL
Yeah.
promo.
yeah, no.
Before-
The promo
yeah.
when he was talking about his addiction and what happened like a
Yeah.
few years prior.
Yeah, that was good.
That's probably one of the best promos I ever heard. So I have that as my pick for number 6. So Twitch chat, again, you're pushing buttons on the poll that gets put out. For YouTube specifically, you're going to type 1 through 5 now, because now we have 5 choices, although 1 is kind of like a so-so pick at the moment. Number 1, type number 1 if you think Skip versus Barry Horowitz, yeah, I'm going to have a hard time saying that one.
Hebrew Hammer.
Yes.
Hebrew Hammer. Yes.
Who had that as their number 6 pick?
I did.
Oh, I had that higher.
Good for you.
You
for
actually
you,
have a
homie.
match? No way.
I figured you'd have Donald Trump versus Vince McMahon haircut match at number 1.
So type number 1 in YouTube if you think Skip versus Hebrew Hammer
The Hebrew Hammer.
Barry Horowitz.
deserves
Double H. He's not
deserves
triple, that's double H.
deserves number 6 on the upset list. Type number 2 if you think KO versus Cena gets number 6 on the upset list. Type number 3 if you think Owen versus Brett at WrestleMania 10 deserves number 6 on the all-time upset list. Type number 4 if you think Maven eliminated The Undertaker in the Royal Rumble deserves number 6 on the all-time upset list.
I mean, Eyes, you could have said like the match where Maven actually beat The Undertaker. What was that? The SummerSlam later that year?
SmackDown.
That was SmackDown.
Oh, it was on a
That was my number
For
9.
a title. For a title.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my number
Oh.
9.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, there he goes.
He went from alphabet soup to speechless.
Mark, he made Nate drop. He made a 2-pinner.
And then we have
Oh wait, he probably put his camera off because only one
Yeah.
of them fell. He still chopped the front out.
And then type number 5 if you think that Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar had No Way Out for their world title deserves to be number 6 on the upset list.
I don't see the pool here. on the
I'm
poll.
getting there. I'm hitting it now.
Mark, you didn't chop the front of that 8-pinner out, did you?
No, I whiffed it this time.
All right.
All right, already a vote for Maven and Taker. Yeah.
You're probably going to be the
Only
only
you.
vote. So,
So, Johnny, while we're waiting for this voting,
yes,
you should catch Triple I up on the results up till this
I'll put
point.
it back.
this is
Yeah, I'm gonna
true.
go grab a code yellow real quick.
All right. Eyes. What we have right now, number 10, voted on by your Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
We have Cena versus Sheamus for the WWE Championship at number 10. We have The Rock versus Hurricane Helms at number 9. We have Chris Jericho versus Fandango at number 8. And number 7 that we just voted on, we had Billy Kidman versus Hulk Hogan at Nitro.
Ooh.
And now we're on 6. And we have a 5 and a 2 in YouTube so far.
I don't even know if any of my picks have gotten a vote yet.
I know none of mine have been picked yet.
Yeah, I know. None might have been picked. I don't even know if any of them have gotten a vote.
I think I have a combined like 4 votes. Not very high.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, you're not going to do too well on this one, I can tell you that.
I already have a vote.
It was going so smooth, too.
Oh, speaking of smooth. Oh,
Oh, come on, eyes.
need some more. There we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh, extra smooth.
You are something else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I need to have a sensor screen for triple I screen. Just in case. Yep. Lotion, of course. Oh, Marky, you missed it. You just missed Triple I lubing his arms up, man.
Oh no, I had to hear it. I heard it. I didn't see it. I heard the scuffing of the ashy becoming non-ashy.
Triple I has 2 things. Triple I has 2 things to pay up here. Say something nice to Bud.
Says who?
Says Twitch chat, and
they paid.
We also have a tie. We also have Triple I showing his high school yearbook picture.
I thought we couldn't do one triple I thing a night here.
Oh no, one.
That's what you get when you think.
Yeah, that's what you get when you
paid
think.
for it, sir. That's they paid for it.
You have multiple things up there, sir.
You can only do one item.
One item.
You can't do we can't do the thing about Bud like 10 times in one night, but you can do multiple different categories in one night.
Lucas, if anyone besides Triple I voted for Maven, I'm going to slap them.
I don't know. Check. Right now we have a tie, but we also have a couple votes in YouTube. So.
Well, I don't know what number we
have a 2 and a 5.
That doesn't mean anything anymore. What order did you type them in?
The order that it's in the poll is
not anymore, because the poll was over and it ranks the other 2, the ones that won on the top. So we don't know which.
Hold up, let me see.
Hold up.
I think it was
Skip versus Barry, number 1.
Yep.
It was KO and Cena, number 2.
Yep.
That means I got 3 votes.
It was Owen and Brett at number 3. Maven eliminated Taker, which thankfully only has 1 vote. It was number 4. And we have Eddie and Brock at number 5.
They both tied at 3.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, did you hear the reaction when Maven eliminated the Undertaker at the Rumble? It was a shock of the night. Shock that ran. Shock.
Did you hear the reaction when he beat the Taker for the title? That a couple weeks later on SmackDown. That was bigger. Yeah, that one.
We have another tie, John. We have another tie. 2 of them at 3.
So here's the tough part. So KO is KO going to be named once? Was that yours, Marky? The KO and Cena?
Yes.
Okay. Who else would have a KO and Cena pick here later on?
I know you picked it last.
I picked it like later, yeah.
Yeah.
I would take KO and Cena because I think Horowitz and Skip is going to show up later for somebody else. And it's my pick, so
I think that's a far greater upset, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice my pick, and I'm going to pick KO beats Cena. Because I had Eddie and Brock. All right. Number 5.
Top 5.
Let's start with Triple I this time. Hopefully he has a match.
This is when I start to get a little freaky here with the top 5. Here we go. All right. New poll.
F-R-E-K.
Oh, we're halfway there. Oh.
Let lemon on a pear.
Take my
Living on a
hand.
prairie?
No, it's lemon on a pear.
Oh, I thought we were living on a prairie.
Take
No,
my
just like-
hands and
Just
we'll
like
make it,
Steve
I
Miller Band, it's
swear.
big ass jet with a light out. Big ass jet with a light out.
All right, Ice.
So
Mrs. Promo is number 5.
Ms. TV.
Miss
This was
TV.
the festival of friendship.
I love all those. Do not make fun of the Miz. Do not make fun of Festival of Friendship. Those are great. Those are moments to my heart.
Hey, Triple I,
What?
the Miz sucked.
Someone should mute his picture right now.
Use it on the field.
It's his dollar store rock.
All right, Ice, go right ahead.
So this is probably an unpopular opinion, but
There's a good
my
chance.
yeah, my number 5 pick is an actual match. Almost 20 years ago, it's when Y2J Chris Jericho defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was I forget the name of the pay-per-view. It was in December, but it was the same one. It was the same night he won the Undisputed Championship.
Yes.
So when he beat The Rock and Austin in the same night.
Yeah,
It's vengeance.
Then- yeah.
Marky mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
Oh,
I
was it-
nominated it did not get picked.
oh, damn.
But I'm glad it's back on the board.
All right, it's back on the board. Y2J versus Austin versus Rock.
Yep.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, pick either one.
All right. Oh, it's my turn.
See,
Actually,
that was good.
Why don't you go ahead, John?
my number 5 is with the women. My number 5 is the Raw after WrestleMania when Paige makes her debut and defeats AJ Lee for the Divas Championship.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Is that really an upset?
It was at the time.
Yeah,
Honestly.
it's the same as Owens beating
True, in
Cena.
a
Yeah.
debut, yes,
Yes.
you're right.
And you know what?
Okay,
She
yeah.
was the NXT Women's Champion at the time. So it's
That's
very
right.
similar to what Owens did.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Oh, thank you for approval, sir.
No, you made me reconsider. You made me reconsider. I hold Paige in that high of or Soraya, whatever you call her, in that high of a regard as a
Well, that was the
competitor.
beginning of her stardom, basically, right there.
True. Yes.
All right.
Oh, they made a movie of it.
Yeah, they did. Coastal.
Yeah, The Rock CM Punk when he wasn't supposed to one night when they were talking about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
So my number 5 has been mentioned earlier as well by Mark Pence. This is where I have the Milan Miracle and the Honky Tonky Meter and all of that starting. I love Santino Marella. I'm very happy that he is now in TNA as he is an authority figure in TNA now. If you haven't seen
Is
that
he
yet.
really?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Under
awesome.
the name Santino Marella.
Yes.
under the name Santino Marella. So yeah, and he even said that he may have some wildlife like a cobra he'll have to bring out. So I'm very excited to see that. But this is where I have the Milan Miracle. I just think, honestly, this had to have worked 75% of people that saw it. I mean, I know there were some people who were like, yeah, that guy's a plant. There's no way they're really letting this happen. But it had to work a couple people. It really had to. Like, legitimately.
If
Yeah.
you were just a mom and dad that brought your kid to the show that night in Italy and all of a sudden they pull a random guy out, you don't know jack about wrestling. You just know you want to see these guys and they pull you know you got worked. You know it.
I mean, this is where I have it. I think the Milan Miracle is one of those very special moments on television that makes us all wrestling fans because it makes us all feel like we're 5 years old again and it suspends disbelief.
Agreed.
Marky.
So number 5, this is where I have what Sunday Night Savior had last time. I have Owen Hart defeating Bret Hart in the opening match at WrestleMania 10. Outstanding match. The feud between brother versus brother was outstanding. The promos that led up to it. And let's not forget, Owen Hart beat Bret Hart in the opening match here. But then later on in the night, didn't Brett win the title?
Hey, he beat Yokozuna, and the
That's
WrestleMania 10 ends with a shot overlooking Owen Hart's shoulder. Everyone else is in the ring celebrating, and he's standing there like...
He beat the man who got the title match at the end of the night. And him looking up there going, why not me? And, the whole thing was like the inferiority complex little brother looking up at the big brother who's getting all the attention, all the kudos, all the accolades. And here it is, the night at Mania, the grandest stage. He beats him in the opening match, and then he watches his brother win the title.
Unpopular opinion from the Coastal Crusader, Owen Hart was better than Bret Hart. That's my opinion. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just my opinion.
It's a very strong opinion, and there's a lot of evidence.
Both ways there is, but for my money, in the way I like wrestling, Owen Hart was better than Bret.
Who are you missing?
Certainly had a better promo.
Owen was a far better promo than Brett.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sunday,
Yes.
I think you're the only one.
I am. So I'm going to mention one that was already said. It was Sheamus beating John Cena in the tables match for the WWE Championship.
Which I did look up, and it was at TLC. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Marky. It was.
Oh, was it TLC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So,
It's okay. Yep.
So due to Sheamus and Cena already holding the 10 spot on this list, he will not be put into this.
How about this Sunday? Give us
list
a.
for number
Do you
5.
have any honorable mentions that haven't been mentioned?
I didn't write down any honorable mentions. We did mention one earlier, and I'll bring it up. It is Ron Simmons beating Vader and becoming the first African American world champion at the time. And was he? Yeah, he was WCW champion because that was after Flair took the big belt to.
Right. It was the small WC.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which honestly, not a bad looking belt.
It's a clean belt. It is a clean
Didn't that
belt.
morph into the tag team titles? Didn't they get
Yes.
a second one?
Yes, they're very similar looking. If you go back and look,
I think the tag team ones were a little
for,
bit
for my money,
but they were
honestly,
very
yeah,
similar.
those tag team titles I think are those in the original WWE tag team titles that Legion of Doom had, the ones we
Demolition
always
Show.
think of. Yeah,
I still think of them as the.
they're so
Demolition
good.
Show.
They're so like those are clean titles. Like I love them.
Remy D popping in the
Remy.
chat. What's up, good sir? Speaking
And
of a
saying the hi to Triple I.
Oh,
champion, he did
Remy.
call Triple I out directly.
Oh, all my
Guys, the
kudos.
D speaks to you.
Huh?
I said the D speaks to you.
Don't
And
start
and
this.
I speak to the D as well. Good.
And that's where we need to end that. All right, number 4.
Let's get this. Speaking of the D, let's get this poll up.
All right. So Twitch, Twitch again. Poll. Hit a button for
Let me look at
YouTube.
this. I knew Triple I was in trouble.
Can
I
I
already have
get
the suitcase
through
right
one
there
of these?
packed.
Can I get through one of these?
Absolutely
Yeah,
not, John.
Okay.
What do you think? It's your show? You think it's your show?
I do. I think.
You
All right. So YouTube for number 5. Shut up.
Y'all are a mess, he says.
You-
Oh, yeah, dude.
You might be
Welcome to
muted,
top
but I
10.
can still read lips. All right. Number 5. Hit number 1 on YouTube if you think Y2J versus Austin versus Rock should be number 5 on the upset list. Type number 2 if you think that Paige versus AJ Lee, the Raw After Mania, deserves to be number 5 on the upset list.
No.
Shut up. Type number 3 if you think that the Milan Miracle between Santino Marella versus Umaga should be number 5 on the upset list. And type number 4 if you think that Owen versus Brett should be number 5 on the upset list. And we're going to add the honorable mention from Sunday for Ron Simmons versus Vader for the world title. Be number 5 on the upset list. That would be typing number 5. Poll is up.
An idea for our next top 10.
We hope we don't have to do another one. So,
Jim Cornette rants.
Yaden.
oh my God.
Yeah, we should do top 10 Jim Cornette rants. Jungle Boy's number 1. He hates Jungle Boy. Oh my god.
Triple I's eyes roll back at the side of the D.
Oh, my eyes roll all over, not just the back.
Brother.
Our next top 10 is top 10 Triple I comments about Remy D.
That should be one.
Ooh, you know what? We're
Top
almost
10
to the
Triple
point
I
where,
moments.
Hey, we're almost to the point where we can do top 10 Remy D gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Top 10 Remy D
All of them.
sunglasses.
All of it. All the above. You don't need a top 10. That's all in the top 10.
You know what actually an interesting top 10 would be if anybody's music aficionados? Top 10 licensed songs for wrestlers.
Are you guys talking about 10 top 10s? Like, we're going to do it again.
No, we're not.
No, but it's fun.
D's like, please don't.
Oh my
Like top
God.
10 actual, like real songs that.
Yeah, like Cult
like
Personality, Rollin'. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Motorhead doesn't count because they wrote those for Triple H. They're not actually like they are a licensed song, but I'm talking about songs like Jungle Boy has Baltimore, Lady Tarzan Boy, Cult Personality, Rolling was one. Raven actually used to come out to Even Flow in ECW because ECW did not care because they considered it background music.
Yeah.
Is how they got away with it because Sandman would come out to enter Sandman.
Yeah. And I think Dreamer came out to Walk from Pantera?
Yeah. Walk by Pantera. The Dudley Boys actually used to come out to something too. I can't remember what it was. Oh, they actually had they didn't have license on, but Power Man 5000 did their music in WWE.
You could do CM Punk's old stuff, Misery at Canter.
That was yeah, he did Kill Switch Engage too.
Yeah, but that was one that was made for the WWE as well.
Yeah, Randy Orton used it for a little bit too.
Once.
Yeah, once.
Yeah, once. And he's
This
like, it's not me.
This Fire Burns, I believe,
Yeah.
is the Kill
Yeah.
Switch Engage song.
Yeah, but yeah.
Dreamer was Man in the Box, Yaden says.
Okay.
Alice in Chains. RVD came out to Walk.
There it is. There it is. That makes more sense.
Thank you, Lucas and Yaden.
ED. Dun, 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 dun.
Is there? You know what we ought to do? Honestly, if we ever have to do this again, we should do top 10 hottest crowds. Because where would that ECW one night stand crowd rank?
Yeah.
Greatest crowd in history.
06.
dude. Like,
The 06
Yeah,
one. The first one
the
was
06
good,
one.
but the 06 one with
Oh,
RVD and Cena in the main event.
best promo Paul Heyman ever cut when he looked at JBL and said, "You're only champion because Triple H didn't want to work Thursdays."
Yeah, that was good.
All right, so we have Santino Marella with 3.
Yeah, Lucas. Spike Dudley came out to Highway to Hell. That's what it was.
Oh, look who's in YouTube chat, ladies and gentlemen. We have Curtis Cole.
okay, so anyway, number 4.
Yeah, great. What's number 4?
All right.
We should move on to number
Curtis
So-
Cole beating anybody. That's a huge upset.
So we only had number 1 in chat, which I think doesn't matter. I think Santino wins.
Yes.
It's a Milan miracle.
He had 3
Yes.
votes, right? He had 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter then.
Hunter, don't even put that in chat. No selling.
Santino versus Umaga.
I'm just happy that's on the list. It makes everything that's made of tomato
does.
sauce in my body happy.
All right.
I think Santino is one of those guys where if he was nowadays, can you imagine how over he'd be with guys like Orange Cassidy and those type of guys that are like Santino, that are on the comedy side but can work? Because Santino could wrestle.
Santino could go. Yeah.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though 90% of his stuff was comedy.
Yeah.
He could go.
And who doesn't love the victory lap?
Oh, with the trumpet and the
Yeah.
trombone going. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And the marching up. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Oh, that's the greatest.
All right. Let's move it on because time's getting a little close here. Number 4. Who went first?
Guys did last time. I think we're back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Coastal, go right
Just me.
ahead.
All right. So real quick, we've talked about this a few times. Triple I. This is where I have Maven beating The Undertaker for the Hardcore Championship on SmackDown. It was after Maven eliminated The Undertaker surprisingly from the Royal Rumble and then ate an entire popcorn and concession stand to his face afterwards for his troubles. I know The Rock interfered in this, but this was great because they really tried to push Maven. They really did. And the dude looked the part. He just had, unfortunately, he had the promo skills of a desk. If he had a lot of personality, he probably would have, honestly, he could have got over. But I think this was awesome that Taker himself did this. You could tell Taker actually, I think he actually liked Maven because you never would see these two things out of Taker if he didn't respect you and the work you did. Just from what I've understood from how Taker worked backstage. I just think this is a meaningful upset because it showed that nobody, and we mean nobody, is infallible in WWE. Everybody loses. We saw Hogan taken out, and now we see Taker, who arguably, in my mind, is the second biggest WWE superstar of all time behind Hogan, take an L from a guy who won Tough Enough and was a teacher.
All right, Marky.
Number 4 is where I have the Hebrew Hammer taking care of Chris Candido not once but twice, getting the win, patting himself on the back, and becoming a thing. We remember Barry Horowitz, not because he was one of the ultimate jobbers like guys like the Brooklyn Brawler and Iron Mike Sharp and some of those guys, but because he ended up being that guy that got a win.
Did Brawler ever get a win?
I don't ever remember seeing the Brooklyn Brawler ever winning.
Really?
On any TV show. I watched wrestling every Saturday morning when I was a kid.
Saturday Morning Superstars.
Never remember. And Brooklyn Brawler was on it all the time as like enhancement. I never remember him winning. Maybe he did one random day. I don't ever remember him winning it. But this is where I have Barry Horowitz finally putting his name in the win column.
Was Horowitz one of those guys like Danny Davis that ended up reffing? I can't remember. I know he was a producer later on.
Horowitz was producing, and they would bring him out of nowhere to be the Brooklyn Brawler here and there, even into the like 2006.
Oh yeah, no, he was like 2007. I remember him on an episode of Superstars back when they had Superstars, and he was like a special like thing like Barry Horowitz is going to come out and
All right, Sunday.
So my number 4 has already been mentioned. It's Hurricane over the Rock in 2003 on Monday Night Raw.
And that was already picked at number 9.
Yep.
It's really high on the list Sunday, too. That's really up.
Hurricane beating the Rock on Raw?
When Rock was a heel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Hurricane. Like, it's not like it was a weird over-the-top character like the Hurricane. I think it like, if it was, a mid-carder that you think they're pushing to the main event type, think of Austin before he was in the main event type of thing. Like that, it would have made more sense to me. But like you're never going to see a guy like the Hurricane be in the main event just because of the character.
All right.
Unless it's like a 6-man tag or something. But I get.
No, but I mean like the main event pick, not one main event match. I mean the main event picture.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
He could have been a main event elimination. You never know. It's the same thing.
So this one happened recently, actually. Chris Jericho versus Action Andretti on AEW a few weeks ago. No one saw that coming, and you'd be lying if you said you did. And the response to that match at the end of it and everything, including the announcers, if you hear the reaction, they were just flabbergasted at the whole thing, completely shocked.
I agree. This is what Jericho does. I had mentioned this earlier when I talked about Jericho beating Fandango or Jericho losing to Fandango Mania. He has this thing where Jericho will pick somebody out and he'll want to put them over. He did it with Fandango, and now he wound up doing it for Fandango. But I think it helped Action Andretti because there's talk that he saw Andretti back last year, like October area, and said, I'm going to put this dude over. He's good. And it took a while, but, I mean, you're not going to lose to somebody when you have the ROH title on you.
Right.
All right. My number 4. We're going outside of WWE and AEW here for a split second. I have Tessa Blanchard winning the world championship against Sami Callihan.
It's actually a really good pick.
It
I
is-
feel bad for her where she's a pariah now, but
Yeah.
you shouldn't say what you said. But yeah.
So that was my number 4 pick. I mean, first woman ever to win a men's world championship. Speaks for itself.
China beating Jeff Jarrett. That was an intercontinental.
This Intercontinental was a world title.
Count.
That was
Oh, what's funny is if you go back and you ask people, when China won that battle royal for the last spot in the Rumble,
That was so cool. The corporate rumble.
she was supposed to win the Rumble that year and face Austin.
It was pitched,
It was
Yeah.
pitched.
Yeah,
No, it was the game plan for a couple weeks, and then they vetoed it. But for a couple weeks, she was going to win the Rumble, which is pretty cool.
That is.
she was so over.
Oh yeah, I don't think there'd been any fan backlash, honestly, if she'd won the Rumble.
So you're only going to have 4 picks. So the poll will be out momentarily. YouTube, type 1 if you think Maven versus Undertaker deserves the number 4 spot on the upset list. Type number 2 if you think Barry versus Hebrew Hammer deserves number 4 on the all-time list. Type number 3 if you think Y2J versus Action Andretti deserves to be number 4 on the all-time list. And type in number 4 if you think that Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan for the world title should be number 4 on the all-time list. Yeah, see, my picks are out there, guys. I don't think you're going to have any of the same with me. I'd be shocked if you do.
Johnny, can I add a number? No number. Just type asterisk if you think Curtis Cole's a Karen.
Asterisk?
Yeah,
Put
you know,
an asterisk in
like
in
that.
Chat, in chat, if you think Curtis Cole's Karen. Karen Curtis Cole.
I mean, he's been quiet ever since he made that one comment. That's it. I don't know why you got to stir everything back up again.
That is
because we were here the other night. So
Yeah, we were here the other night, and I just want to make sure I still live rent free in his head, like I was.
I wish I could live rent free.
Hunter Dillon also redeemed Masshole
pay
Word
rent.
of the Day, by the way.
Ooh.
Oh, he did.
Yes,
Well, now's an interesting time.
very much.
He's a killer, not a Karen. No, he is now a Karen Jet.
Yeah, he threw a hissy fit in the ring the other night. You should see it.
So this segues in quite perfectly. So the other night when we were watching Ignition and Karen Curtis Cole was in the ring and he started yelling and screaming at people, well, I did everything I could to try to change the channel. I couldn't quite reach the screen from where I was at. So on the side, what you might have reached for was the remote. I don't reach for the remote. I reach for the clicker. So I pick up the clicker and I just push the button and I go and I watch something else completely. Instead of like a 180-pound sack of crap that's just spewing out a bunch of bad breath, that should have put the dick mint in his own mouth instead of throwing it at somebody else. So yeah, when you need to change a channel, you don't reach for the remote control around these parts. You reach for the clicker.
Or the Flicka. I use Flicka too.
Yeah.
No, the flicker is when the TV's not in good service, like back before we had like perfect cable and
And you had to beat on the side of it.
you had the rabbit ears on the top of the head, on the top of the TV there. When the screen wouldn't stay solid, that's when the screen would flip.
Hey, you remember when you had the slider for the channels? Did you guys ever have that when you were little? And
Oh,
you had
yeah,
to slide for the channels?
No, I never had that one. We always had the little click, 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 click.
No, we had
My grandmother had a
slider,
slide
yeah.
one. She also had one that had like you had to choose the regular broadcast or the UHF.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we have.
Do you remember when you used to have to take the Nintendo thing and actually like screw it into the back of the TV?
Oh, yeah.
The prongs were on the screws
Yeah.
Yes.
before
have-
the RF adapter.
That
We
was
have,
UHF.
we have
I would-
Jet. We have Jet saying, I did see the show with Curtis Cole, and he kind of made sense.
And we don't care because you don't even know which sense he made because that's not even.
It's that
But
sense
anyway,
SE. You didn't even spell sense right. You
He didn't
combine
see-
you combine sense as in like money and sense as in like sensations.
But Yaden gets it. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
kid, pass the clicker.
There's that. You know what, Yaden? There's an H on the end of that. You're close, but there's an H.
I'll allow it. It's fine. They knew
Okay.
the accent.
It's not an R.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's right. I used to yell at my
So-
sister all the time, "Yo, Kristen, throw me the clicker," and she would throw me the clicker.
Oh, not in Ohio. Okay.
So
All right.
this is going to change come next week, but we do have a question in YouTube chat right now.
Okay.
From Not Available. Why is this Curtis Cole guy so angry?
Oh, we don't have time to get into that, but the short story is he's really, really salty. He's not as good as Yaden. That's basically where it all started about a year ago.
Long story short, yes, that's where the whole insecurity
Yeah.
comes from.
Yaden can win a tag team elimination style match all by himself and doesn't even need
And the
to.
NRW title, and
Yeah.
get screwed out of an RMP chance, but still be successful.
Yeah.
Yaden goes, if
Yeah.
you're a Curtis Cole, he'd be angry too.
That's right. If I had to look at that in the mirror every single morning, yeah, I'd be pissed.
It's a hell of a way to start your day.
Telling you, no Folgers in your cup will help you wake up. No amount of Folgers in your cup.
All right. So
Dude, that's chock full of nuts.
Face.
so I didn't. Who won?
I don't know.
Maven versus The Undertaker won with 3 votes over here on Twitch.
Yeah.
Wait, did YouTube have any votes?
No votes on YouTube. Oh no, there was one. There was the number one, which that was Taker and Maven. So yeah, that's clean.
Maven versus The Undertaker
Yep.
at number...
Not Taven. I mean, Maven and Taker.
All
Was
right.
that number 4?
That's
Yes.
4. Now we're on to 3. The top 3. Here's where stuff's going to get interesting. I think we all have one. We all have one that's in these top 3. Where
I
it
think
is.
so. Yeah.
Where it is.
It's
We
gonna
might
be either
even have.
one,
I don't
2,
know.
or 3.
We might even have 2.
I don't
Well,
know.
I think there's one that's going to be either 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, I
very
get what you're
accurate.
getting at. Yeah. Or,
Wait up.
or
There-
maybe
there was an
Cannonball.
entendre there.
I think
It
it's
was
a
double
razor's
I know what you guys
edge.
are-
It's
I
a
know what-
razor's edge that might,
Determine how close it comes.
I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about Maki eliminating Dean Fleming from the Colorado Cup.
Dude, that's my number
I thought
one, man.
that
He
was
threw
my-
it.
I did
He
that.
threw him all the way
Right.
to AEW.
I did, but that's not an upset because that happened in a Royal Rumble type match and not in a ring the
If
bell.
Maki
we
won
pursue
the Colorado
until the
Cup,
end.
if Maki
If
won the
Maki-
Colorado
if
Cup,
I won the Colorado Cup, if I didn't run into stupid Damon Ace, I might have had a shot to last 8 more seconds.
Well, I'm
But
probably
instead
sure
I-
your manager told you Damon Ace wasn't in the
my
Colorado Cup
manager
because
told me to go over
because-
after Monster 9.
my manager said there were no clowns.
Your
2
manager,
came out in a row.
your manager made you overcome your fears of clowns. All right, you're welcome. And
Have
Marky,
you seen
your
the
manager
video?
Your manager made you level up, step up to Damon Ace, and just become even more prevalent and relevant in RMP.
And went to the hospital.
My manager helped me do that.
Yeah,
My manager told me to go after Monster 9 and try to throw him out.
Trying to
If you
pick
go
him
back-
up off the mat.
All right, all right, all right,
Yeah, boy.
all right, all right.
Listen, Funaki.
We've
I
been
have
doing
no
so
clue.
good
You're a
tonight.
fine
We
guy.
don't need to start here on the last 3 picks.
Listen,
Oh.
number 1 announcer in all of Dudes and Belts, Funaki Rio. Calm down.
He did. Yaden's right. The only thing my manager helped me do was experience the wonderful medical facilities in that which is Denver, Colorado. That's what you helped me do.
Thank you. You're welcome.
$500 deductible bill, and I'm still waiting for you to reimburse me for it.
Oh,
God, you're gonna be waiting forever.
Yeah. Great
Good luck.
manager.
Good luck. Good luck with that.
Number 3, Marky.
Shut up, Jet. Shut up, Jet.
Oh, we haven't heard that
So
in a
number
while.
three is where I want to put the bad guy. Bad guy was the man running around on Monday Night Raw until one night this young, greasy-haired, 136-pound dude came to the ring and shocked the world and beat Razor Ramon, and hence got the name the 1-2-3 Kid. What were they calling him before we called him?
Cannonball Kid or Lightning.
Lightning Kid. They just decided to call him the Kid. They were just
Yeah,
like, wait,
Kid.
what's-
But then they
And-
started calling him the 1-2-3 Kid, and he beats Razor Ramon on the old Clown Town Monday Night Raws, like the old weird Monday Night Raws. That
They're
came
from the
from-
Manhattan Center.
The Manhattan Center. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just a kid, Lucas said.
And Marky, I don't mean to
He's
step
just
on
a
your
kid.
toes, but great minds
go
think
right ahead.
alike again. Me and you. And I have
Number
this at
three?
3 as well. And it launched.
Twice we've done that.
Yeah, it is. It launched Sean Waltman's career. I know he was tight with the click when he came in. It kind of got him the shot, but come on. He did nothing but do honestly great matches no matter where he was put for the rest of his career. He
Agreed.
understood that he could work with big timers like Scott Hall, like Kevin Nash, like Shawn Michaels, and those guys, and he did quite frequently. I think he was done a disservice in WCW when he was fired via FedEx, but that's how that happened at that time in that company. Everybody was. I just think that he was undersized, and if he was bigger, he would have been a multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, maybe a World Champion, because he could cut a promo, he could do the work in the ring, and he understood how to do business.
I mean, he did wear his share of straps here and there through the years, and
Yeah, but it was
not a lot.
cruiserweight titles, it was light heavyweight
it was
titles, tag
more-
team titles.
he was better as like a schmuck champion when he was like a bad guy and insulting people and everywhere in the European title. He was good, but he was wicked generic as the 1, 2, 3 kid. Didn't have a lot of personality. Once he embraced that which was everything that made him an ass, and then when he ended up coming and doing the DX thing when he came back, that was really, really when we saw Primetime Kid or Sean Waltman or whatever it might wanted to be. But you're right. Pac, it really launched him. This thing with Razor and being in that clique really launched his career into the stratosphere in an era where if you weren't 6'6", 280 of solid muscle, it was difficult for you to do anything. And he stayed extremely relevant all through the years. Love him or hate him, he was always there.
Let's give a quick shout out real quick to first time chatter on Twitch, Melissa Lynn 85, saying I love Shawn Michaels.
Hey, Melissa, how are you?
She actually popped into my stream last night with the boys.
Wow.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking us out, kid.
Shawn Michaels actually could have been on this list if you want to take into account. I mean, not many people picked him to win that Iron Man match at Mania 12. That was kind of an upset over Bret Hart. So
In a way, yeah. I guess maybe you could justify that. Yeah.
Or you could pick him on the losing end with Jannetty beating him as
So-
well.
Continental belt, yeah.
So, Coastal, you and Marky had the same pick at number 3, correct?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
yeah.
so
1, 2, 3
Sunday-
kid losing to Razor or beating Razor Ramon.
So I'm going to mention one that's already been mentioned is Dango over Jericho from WrestleMania 29. I mean, I thought that was a monstrous upset going into that. I thought that was the way Dango was presented, dancing and everything. I thought he was going to be more of a funny character, and they were going to build up and have Jericho beat him in 4 minutes. But I was wrong.
And I was wrong.
I was wrong.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Who got eliminated from this Royal Rumble?
No, this is whoever lost the coin toss or something. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Bret Hart and Lex Luger tying in the Royal Rumble.
Ball, and we're gonna score.
You guys are close, actually. It is a Royal Rumble,
Oh
And
my
it is
God,
wrong.
eyes.
but it's an actual outcome.
Do not say HBK winning from 1.
It's Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
That is an upset.
All right.
I'll give you that one.
I'll let. Yeah. I'm.
It's not bad.
I'm not upset about that one.
No one would have ever predicted that. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and then
Lucas. Triple I is going to have an upset from the Slammy Awards.
Yeah. No shit.
So my number 3, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be on a Monday Night Raw, and it is going to be for the world title. And it was announced prior to the showing of this match by WCW on Nitro. It is Mankind versus The Rock for the World Championship.
That'll put butts in seats.
Yeah.
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 yep.
Remember when he was
Famous
here?
line.
The one line Tony Schiavone ever regrets saying.
Yep.
So
You know
that
why?
is-
It put all the butts in the seats.
yes, it did.
And
Well, it made everybody go, click.
I was going to say, everybody picked up their clicker.
Everybody grabbed the clicker and they flicked over, right? It's full circle, circles, and they clicked it, and bang, they watched Mankind beat The Rock.
Is there a bigger pop when Austin's music hits in that match?
Oh.
Probably not.
It was the biggest pop week to week was whenever the glass broke.
Yeah.
18,000 people went nuts.
Going back to, Mankind winning that, and to bring another previous Masshole word of the week, everybody started going into their pocketbook to start buying start buying some Mankind Have a Nice Day shirts after that.
Oh.
So
Then we started seeing the Mankind is good signs instead of Mankind is God. Foley is good.
Foley is. They used to be Foley is good. He's like, add an O to that. Foley is good.
Yeah, Foley is good.
So, another 4 pick here for number 3. We have the 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Razor. If you're on YouTube, type number 1 for that. Type number 2 on YouTube if you think Fandango versus Chris Jericho deserves to be number 3. Type number 3 if you think Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble match should be number 3. Or type number 4 on YouTube if you think Mankind versus The Rock for the world title on Monday Night Raw should be number 3 on the all-time upset list. Poll starts now in Twitch. You just gotta click a button.
So, Eyes, can I ask you a question?
Uh-oh.
When you were like doing some research and kind of, because I'm sure we all did a little bit, we all kind of knew which ones we liked, and then we go and we search and kind of fit things in and make a list. Did you do anything except watch all the Royal Rumbles that ever happened?
No.
I know 'tis the
He
season.
watched a bunch of YouTube videos of like biggest pops and shocking
Biggest
moments.
Royal Rumble exits ever. Like,
I try to go for a combination of like the shock factor and the reaction from the fans as well, and the circumstances surrounding that specific time too.
Well, I know you're going for shock factor, but you're getting shock master out of this.
That's a great
That
line.
was good.
Fantastic.
that was wicked.
Thank you. Thank you.
Period. Done. End of story. That was an orgasmatron of a line. I love it.
I'll give you that, Coastal.
Thank
You're one lining. Yeah, congratulations.
I'm glad it was on you and I got it out early.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot on AAA. A lot of D.
No.
Get things off my chest,
Getting it all off his chest. 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Razor over here now. 4 votes.
Oh,
We have one
Fandango.
for that as well over on YouTube.
So 5. 5 now. Fandango versus Y2J has 1. Vince winning the Royal Rumble has 1.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mankind and The Rock doesn't have any.
Nope.
I'm losing to III. That's sad.
That's it.
Because you're not voting for your own.
That's
I
true.
mean-
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot. That's only his vote.
I think that the vote I got for Dango is my first vote of the whole thing. I don't think I've gotten a vote on any of them.
Well, yours have already been picked a few times.
Yeah, there's been I got
Yeah.
a few that I've said that have already been picked, and I think after this one I'm done. I don't think I'm gonna have any available.
Really?
I got 2 that haven't been talked about yet on my top.
Oh, mine are
Right.
outlandish. I love
Neither
it.
of mine have been talked either just yet either.
This
We
is-
all might have the same 1 or 2.
Nope. No shot.
I doubt it.
No shot whatsoever.
I know you don't because I'm done after this one. All mine have been
Yeah, because me
been
and
brought
Sunday
up in-
typically go hand in hand in top 5 going forward.
Oh, that's not cute.
No, I got some great ones.
My 1 and 2 are from the same event, so
Then it's definitely not me.
Yep. 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Razor.
Yep. All right.
Anybody remember the move 1, 2, 3 kid one on?
Moonsault.
Moonsault, baby.
Moonsault.
Oh, was it a moonsault?
Yep.
Yep.
To abstain, he fell back and into a pin.
All right. Number 2. We might actually be lowering the numbers, possibly.
Maybe. Who's going first?
Sunday, I think, would go first here because his is already taken, so he might as well go first.
Well, my number 2 was the Milan Miracle.
There you go.
Santino over Umaga.
And that was number 4, so not too far
That's
off.
a bigger upset.
That was 5.
than
That was 5.
Brett.
That was 4.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger upset. Yeah.
Oh,
Out
yes,
of
it was
the
5. It
crowd,
was 5. Maven and Taker
the-
is 4. You're right.
Yeah, to beat the Samoan Bulldozer for the IC title, a guy out of the crowd, I think it is a bigger upset, in my opinion.
Fair. No, fair.
Here's what you got.
Eyes, what do you got?
I had Barry Horowitz versus Skip.
And we do not have that
Okay.
one.
Johnny?
You want me to go next?
Well, if we're going in order, yeah, it's you next.
That's true. You were going after Triple I.
So number 2, I had the ravishing Rick Rude versus the Ultimate Warrior
WrestleMania.
at
5.
WrestleMania 5
Oh,
for the
God.
Intercontinental Championship. Ultimate Warrior's
one.
first ever pinfall at WWF at the time.
Really good. That's a good
That's
one.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that one.
You son bitch. That's a good one. That's my favorite WrestleMania too. I didn't even think of that one on there. That's a good one. That's good.
So my number 2 is going to be a little controversial because I think it's an upset because,
That means it's not.
well, no, I just know how the upper and the creative at WWE works, and they never give the fans what they want. So my number 2 is actually the main event of WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania, and Daniel Bryan beating Randy Orton and Batista for the titles, because I, as a fan, never thought Vince McMahon would give me Daniel Bryan as the champion. And I just thought that that was a big upset to beat both Randy Orton and Batista, who were both handpicked Vince McMahon guys, that WrestleMania was an upset, and he finally gave the people what they wanted.
And Marky.
Okay. Nobody else is going to have this one. I was talking to the boys earlier tonight. Growing up as a young little masshole, I used to watch wrestling with my grandfather. My dad hated it. But when I used to spend the nights over my grandfather's house, we would sit and we'd watch Saturday night's main events sometimes and stuff. And I remember hearing all about from my grandfather and my grandmother about Bruno Sammartino back in the day. Now, that's before me, way before me, a product of the early 80s. However, I've heard of this, and there's video somewhere on either the old On Demand. You used to be able to watch this match. Bruno Sammartino had an 8-year title reign that was ended in Madison Square Garden by Ivan Koloff. At the time, Bruno Sammartino was the unbeatable champion. And Ivan Koloff beat him in the dead center of the ring. And to everybody that was there and everybody you see, they are throwing shit into the ring, beer bottles and wrappers and all kinds of stuff. People are going absolutely banana sandwich that Bruno Sammartino lost the title to Ivan Koloff after over an 8-year reign. We talk about Hulk Hogan's reign back in the day of, was it 4 or 5 years, 4.5 years? Double that. Granted, different era, very different era. Going
Territories
back, right, I mean, we're going back. This wasn't even WWF. This was WWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, with Vince Sr.
Yeah, and how over Bruno was, we talked about this earlier, like your grandmother had pictures of JFK, Jesus Christ, Bruno Sammartino, if she was a wrestling fan.
Right. I remember going to the pizza place, Bertucci's, and they used to have a little bocce pit. Sunday, you know exactly what I'm talking about down in our hometown. There was a Bertucci's that had a little bocce pit down in the basement. And I remember going there with my grandfather, and we'd sit there and we'd Italian guy it out, man. Everybody be drinking espressos. I'd be a kid eating pizza, playing bocce. And the old fellas would talk about the old days of wrestling when I would bring up how much I love Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. And they would talk about these guys like Iron Sheik, Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, Ivan Koloff, like all these guys.
And Strongbow, and yeah.
To find out later that it was Koloff that ended an 8-year reign. To me, it's got to be in the top 3. Maybe not in the modern era, but
right around the Red Scare too, that in the early part of the Cold War, which was ballsy for McMahon.
Well, they've always done that. That was the forte.
Slaughter, yeah.
All the way through up until the Attitude Era, man. If there was a political thing in the world, there was going to be a thing done. I mean, we know WrestleMania 7. The history and the story behind Sergeant Slaughter turning sides and everything else, and the show was moved in.
It's funny you mentioned that because I just listened to something to wrestle all these Rumbles, and during the Rumble right before that, right when all that happened, when Ultimate Warrior lost the title to Slaughter and all of that, Bruce Pritchard was like, "Yep, we got done with the Rumble, and we turned on CNN, and they just declared war on Iraq." During the Rumble. He's like, they could have at least waited till after the Rumble.
All right. Twitch, same thing. Hit a button. YouTube, you got 4 choices here. Type number 1 if you think Barry versus the Hebrew Hammer. Or no, the Hebrew Hammer versus Skip will be number 2 on the upset list. Type number 2 if you think that Ultimate Warrior versus Rick Rude for the IC title at WrestleMania 5 should be number 2 on the all-time list. Type number 3 if you think Daniel Bryan versus Orton versus Dave Bautista would be number 2 on the all-time list. And type number 4 if you think Bruno Sammartino versus Ivan Koloff for the world title should be number 2 on the all-time list. Poll starts now.
Wasn't that Blutista? Was that the year of Blutista?
Bautista.
Yeah, that was the Bautista year.
That was the year that he won the Rumble.
Yeah, that was the year he won the Rumble and nobody wanted him to.
When they put Evolution back together, then he was that's about the time he was Blutista.
We have a number 3 in chat.
This is a dogfight. Okay, then that means that the Yeselmania is in the lead with 3 votes. Bruno versus Ivan Koloff is second with 2. And the other 2 are both tied with 1.
Barry versus Skip has 2.
I see.
Barry versus Skip has 1.
Barry versus Skip might not make it.
If Barry versus Skip doesn't make it, shut up forever about the Vader incident.
Yeah.
Forever. That was the first, wicked, holy crap on TV, mainstream upset, jobber beats and actual... Weren't the Body Donnas tag team champions at one point?
They were, yeah.
I'm sure they were.
You know what's funny? You know who Zip was? Zip is Dr. Tom Pritchard with a shaved head and bleach blonde hair.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Shit, you're right. Now I think back about it. Yes, he was.
For anybody that doesn't know, that's Bruce Pritchard's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trained a lot of big names.
He actually has a school right now with Kane. Yeah. The Pritchard Jacobs Wrestling Academy.
Come on, everybody. We're halfway through the polls over here. We got less than a minute.
But you don't want to go there. You want to go to Colorado and go to the Al Snow Wrestling Academy in Rocky Mountain.
There should be 17 votes.
Come on, get us up another couple votes over here. We have 6 votes over here on Twitch. We really need to break this tie. Actually, no, you said Yeselmania has a vote over on YouTube, correct?
Correct.
All right, so that is in the lead with 3.
Yaden goes, our curriculum is based on Dr. Tom's method.
There you go.
Very cool.
Come on, everybody on Twitch. Please come over here and push a button for us.
And on YouTube, too.
Right.
1, 2, 3, or 4. Just type it in.
Wherever you are. Please push a button over here for us. Hunter, thank you for hitting the button.
To me, I knew Horowitz better than I knew Skip. To me, Skip was a low mid-card guy until he went to ECW.
I think the thing about Skip was he had Sonny. Honestly.
So we have,
There it is.
I believe that's the winner right there.
Yes-omania.
I'm having a good night with my picks.
Yes! Yes!
I'm having a Sunday night with my picks.
Yeah, I'm over. I'm not getting any.
I got 3.
All
I
right.
don't know about number one, though. I'm going to get a lot of mean things for one, I think.
All right.
This
Did we
is
save
where-
all the arguing for number one? That'd be about
this,
My
this
one's
is
only
where
pick,
we fight.
I might get kicked off the show.
please.
right. All right.
This is where we fight.
Postal.
On me.
You're going to make me go first?
Okay.
Johnny, I'm super sorry. So it comes from Mania 30. And this is where I have, to me, the greatest upset of all time, and the facial expressions say it all. It's a meme. It is Brock beating Taker and ending the streak.
You are not the only one, I think.
We all knew that Brock was probably going to beat Taker somewhere. None of us ever thought that streak was going to end. At that point, I'm sorry. If you said, oh, yeah, Brock's beating him, no questions. No, bullshit. We all went, okay.
We're going to pull
Yeah,
this off.
exactly.
That was in my mind. Not necessarily he's going to beat I mean, don't get me wrong. I think we all looked at Brock Lesnar coming out against The Undertaker and realized that Brock Lesnar had the advantage.
Yep.
Age, size,
But it's
and
Mania.
just pure power. But it was Mania. It doesn't matter. It's WrestleMania, and The Undertaker is a more
21-0.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was 21-0.
Right. How is Undertaker going to get by this?
And then he
I
lost.
I interject in your point, Coastal. I'm sorry, because we did it again. At number 1, I have Brock Lesnar ending the
3.
streak at WrestleMania 30. It is the most tragic thing I've ever witnessed in my wrestling life, from young boy to middle-aged man at this point. It's the most tragic thing I've ever witnessed. It should have never happened. It changed the flow of wrestling forever in my mind. After that, WrestleMania became very different after The Undertaker lost at WrestleMania 30. Unpopular opinion, Brock Lesnar didn't need it. He did not need it. Something like that could have been reserved for somebody who it could have stratosphered.
Here's
Brock was already there.
Yeah, here's my thing. It didn't need to happen if you're going to have Brock destroy Cena at SummerSlam. That's enough.
Right.
You don't need him to beat Taker, too.
Because
But
that was
this is-
Suplex City 4 months later.
Yeah, and the reason I say this is a big upset is because even to this day, we don't know if it was booked that way. You listen to Paul Heyman give interviews, and you listen to him talk, you listen to anybody talk, and they're like, yeah, Undertaker was concussed. What was going to stop Brock Lesnar from just pinning him? And we don't know if it was really supposed to happen or not. And that's why, to me, it is the biggest upset ever
In history.
in history. It wasn't because of who it was because of when it happened and the circumstances behind it.
Sunday, what was your number one?
This was the Kid over Razor. I think that's the biggest upset, biggest shock, biggest everything when it comes to professional wrestling, and it made a career.
Eyes, what was your number one?
I agree with Sunday. I also have the Kid versus Razor Ramon as well, for all the reasons that Sunday said, and I think also it doesn't matter that was picked. That was the number 3 pick, so we know we're not going to get any votes for that. But I also want to say part of my definition of most shocking upsets, guys, or biggest upsets, whatever you want to call it, is the person that wins the match or the wrestler that wins the match is an unknown. You know, like Sunday and I have Kid versus Razor. Kid was an unknown at the time. Barry Horowitz versus Skip. Horowitz was an unknown at the time.
No, he wasn't. We knew him. He was just a jobber. He went out and got his ass kicked. We knew who Horowitz was.
Yeah, but for the most part, back then when you didn't have the internet, you didn't have, as a diehard
I
fan,
watched every Saturday. I knew who Barry
Every
Horowitz was.
single set.
but he wasn't a prevalent name, for the most part. That's what I'm getting at. It wasn't a prevalent name, just like Santino Marella wasn't, obviously, as well, when he won his match against Umaga. My point was...
But Santino you never saw on TV ever. Barry Horowitz was on TV every week.
But
Basically.
back then, you don't expect jobbers to win match whatsoever. My point is, with my picks, for our shocking upsets, it's people who are completely unknowns or very little relevancy in the wrestling world. So that's part of the reason why I also chose Kid versus Razor Ramon.
John?
All right. So, yes, we are going to vote for number one. My number one on biggest upsets is going to be the end of a reign of 2,135 days. That reign was ended by the Iron Sheik over Bob Backlund as my number
Taking
one
the Hulk
overall.
Hogan. I hate you, Hulk Hogan.
Yes, which started that whole entire thing.
3 weeks later.
Which is funny because Bob Backlund wouldn't lose to Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan was an amateur wrestler.
Yep.
That was the whole thing.
And then they probably wanted a heel to beat him anyway, so.
Did anyone say Hurricane beating The Rock? That got chosen. That got chosen
did,
at number 9.
That was my 9, yeah.
So we are going to have 2 votes here. YouTube, type 1 if you think that the end of the streak, Brock versus Taker, should be number 1. Or if you think Bob Backlund versus the Iron Sheik and the end of the over 2,000-day reign should be number 1 on the upset list. Poll starts now.
Was Freddie Blassie Sheik's manager at that point?
That was Backlund's. Didn't Blassie threw the towel
Freddie.
in?
Yes, that Freddie Blassie was
Yes.
Bob Backlund's manager back in those days.
And
yes.
then I think he switched shortly after.
He did. He came in and he beat up Backlund with the
cane, right? Yeah.
He went and beat him up, and then he ended up going with Iron Sheik after that.
Yeah, because Bob didn't actually tap out. The towel got thrown because he
threw the
wouldn't
towel.
tap out.
Johnny, me and you showing some old school knowledge.
You know what's great though about
Yeah.
that? We don't see Backlund again until the 94 Survivor Series?
1994.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he goes all crazy on
Oh God, when he played Nutso, Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
We have a number 2 in YouTube.
we're at 4-3.
Ooh, it's going to be a close one. It's a barn burner.
5-3.
5-3.
I do love the old.
5-4.
5-4.
Here we go.
I love the old stuff. That was one of the best parts. If in our part of the country we had Comcast cable, you had the on-demand feature. They would change up the programming once a month, and they always had a whole setting called Old School, and it was all the old stuff from the old Philadelphia Spectrum, the old Boston Garden, Maple Leaf Gardens up in Toronto, Madison Square Garden in New York. And not just like the old 80s stuff with Macho Man and Tito Santana. Sometimes they would really throw it far back
Oh, yeah.
to like mid early 70s stuff. It was really, really cool to watch.
You want
Just
a cool
as-
thing? Go back and watch Mid-South on the network if you have the network and you watch Mid-South Wrestling. And just see how over JYD is in Mid-South at that time.
Oh, God. The dog.
Junkyard Dog might
Yeah.
have been the most over wrestler ever at that point.
I'm actually
Oh, yeah,
surprised he
but-
didn't get any of the top 10s here. Honestly.
I'm trying to think of an upset with Jay. Oh, you know what? If you want to talk about shocking moments, how about when Ted DiBiase, before he became the $1 Million Man, when he turned on JYD in Mid-South?
Yeah.
DiBiase had to be escorted out of the building by the police.
Yes, he did. It was rowdy
He got
down
hit
there.
with he got hit with a battery.
Yeah. It was bad. All right, the time's almost up, and we're about to put this top 10 list to close without people punching each other, which is great.
You know what? If we're talking about Royal Rumbles and we want to feed into eyes a little bit, you know, how about Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble that year and he got booed and The Rock couldn't even get him cheered?
Yeah.
How do you know people are unhappy? They boo Rock.
All right, so
Yeah.
we have 5. Did you
5-4.
incorporate the 2?
It was 5-4. Oh wait, there was 2 votes for 2.
There was 1 vote for 2. I didn't know if you incorporated that.
Oh yeah,
No,
then it's
If there was
5-4.
1 vote, it's 5-4, and Brock Taker is the greatest upset in wrestling history.
All right, now this is the part here where the show could sometimes go off the rails. All right. The official list for top 10 upsets of the dudes and belts is as followed. Number 10, Cena versus Sheamus for the world title.
Where he beat up John Cena.
Number 9 was The Rock versus Hurricane Helms.
And then we beat up John Cena.
Number 8 was Chris Jericho versus Fandango.
He just made the list.
Number 7 was Billy Kidman versus Hogan.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Number 6 was KO versus Cena.
And he beat up John Cena.
You didn't see that coming.
Number 5 was the Milan Miracle of Santino Marella versus Umaga. Number 4 was Tough Enough winner Maven beating The Undertaker in a hardcore match on SmackDown to win the hardcore title.
He picked all the popcorn vending machine pieces out of his face.
With Al Snow by his side, mind you. Number 3 was the 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor Ramon on Raw. I think it was the second or third Raw ever. Number 2 was Daniel Bryan versus Orton versus Dave Batista at WrestleMania 30. And at number 1 was the end of the streak, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Now, boys, I remember this all too well, how these go. What do you think about this list that us and the faithful created?
The only glaring omission is Barry Horowitz beating Skip.
Yeah, same. I was just gonna say that.
So
And if I have to take any off, it's 10.
Cena versus Sheamus?
Oh yeah.
So if I'm actually not a fan of 1 or 2 being on the list at all, because I look at upsets just to give you my explanation of that. I look at upsets. I would never look at a guy that's a multiple-time world champion losing any match as a major upset, and both of those guys, winning any match is a major upset. Brock Lesnar was a multiple-time world champion. Before that, Daniel Bryan was a multiple-time world champion before that. So I just don't look at them as. Could they be upsets? Yeah, but I don't think they're major upsets.
Daniel Bryan lost the world title in 8 seconds at WrestleMania when he was the world title holder.
Yep, but he held it for time.
To Sheamus.
Yeah, he held it for some time. And
So you're telling me, as a fan, you thought Daniel Bryan was walking out of that WrestleMania with that?
that's not what I said. If you listen to what I said it was an upset. I don't think it was as major of an upset because he was a multiple-time world champion. So there's always going to be a favorite and an underdog, always in everything. Like today, we had the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals won. They were the underdog. Was that a major upset? I don't believe so.
If it was at WrestleMania, maybe.
Yeah,
And
they're not going to have a
after
football
they
match
had
at
been
WrestleMania,
dragged through the mud, after they had been dragged through the mud and embarrassed and be called a B-plus player, and
after you had seen 15 years of Roger Goodell
Triple
pounding
H in a
you down,
one-on-one match to earn his spot in the same night.
but
He
also
beat
injuring
Triple H.
his shoulder and coming up taped.
Well, he didn't injure his shoulder. They worked an angle to injure his shoulder. You know what I mean? To make him even more sympathetic.
Still real to us, damn it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he had won the world title multiple times. You know the whole show was built around him.
looking back on it with hindsight, but as we were watching it, as we were living that whole promo, though, that whole storyline, it was the story of the smaller player coming up and jumping in with the big boys and beating them. Not just beating them, but beating the biggest boy, beating Triple H first, and then going into the main event triple threat, which wasn't even a one-on-one.
Correct.
And then winning that.
And you honestly could
and
say
not getting the world champion.
If he won that
Not
first
beating the world
match,
champion.
he got his flowers in the first match. You really thought he was getting his flowers at the end of the night too?
Well, I figured if he was going to not... At that point, I kind of had a feeling if he wasn't going to win the main event, he wasn't going to win the first one, and they were going to have an Evolution triple threat that they probably talked about 10 years earlier.
Oh, no, I thought if he was winning that one, it was all the more for Vince McMahon to get his rocks off by shitting all over everyone at the end of the night by having Batista win. Because that's just the type of person he is.
Like I said, we have differing opinions. I just think that a multiple-time world champion winning a match isn't a major upset.
And I just think that having one of the most epic all-time memes of WWE history of a fan with the most shocked look on his face of all time makes it a giant upset.
It was.
I think it's a giant shock, but not a giant upset. There is a difference.
There is a huge distinctive difference with those two words. Absolutely.
Undertaker did not lose at Mania. Period. Up until that point, he had been to the edge of death as the dead man every single time and found a way against men bigger, against men smaller, against men faster.
I knew it was too good to be true.
Each and every
Chat.
single time.
And you guys would have been real pissed if I put CM Punk beating Cena at Money in the Bank on here like I wanted to.
That wouldn't have been. I mean, to me that wasn't. That was a shock, not an upset to me. Again, same thing, same idea.
Big Match John.
Yeah, it's still a shot. It's still a guy that was a world champion before that. You know, that has won big matches against big names before it. You know, to me, it's more of that was more of a shock than an upset. One that I like that I didn't put on the list that I actually thought of during this when Johnny brought up the Jake the Snake. Not Jake the Snake. The Ravishing Recruit and Ultimate Warrior one was Sergeant Slaughter beating Ultimate Warrior for the world title. I think that's an upset.
That's actually an upset. Yeah, no,
that's an upset that could have made this list.
I almost put Benoit beating Triple H and Shawn Michaels at 20. That's one of my honorable mentions.
Isn't that the match where Shawn Michaels started out by super kicking Triple H?
Triple H, correct.
Yeah. Right in the mush.
Right.
That was
They were supposed to be friends working together to eliminate Benoit.
That was the match I thought triple threat match at Survivor Series. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and John Cena, and Shawn Michaels super kicked Triple H right away, and Cena was shocked.
I think it was an homage though to that first Mania match too in 20.
Yeah.
I think they redid it.
What are your thoughts on the list?
Well, overall, very good. The one glaring omission obviously was Horowitz versus Skip. We covered that already. I also do not think Sunday really took the words out of my mouth. I do not think. Okay, let me just take it down a notch. Was Lesnar versus Undertaker potentially an upset? Maybe, but not to the magnitude of number one, in my opinion. And the WrestleMania, I don't think that was... Again, that could have been an upset, but again, not to the magnitude of number two. I think maybe they get honorable mentions or they get very low on the list, but not as number one and number two. Absolutely not.
You know what's cool about opinions? They're all like butthole. They all stink.
True.
Yeah.
Dude, that story of Daniel Bryan, that culminated almost a year-long story
Yeah.
of the Yes movement, of Daniel Bryan getting one over on him.
My whole thing is Vince never gives you what you want, so why would you think you get it there?
But he almost always gave you what you want at WrestleMania. Almost
Nobody
always.
wanted Hulk posing after
Yes, they
Mania
did.
4.
That's why they all cheered at the end of it. Did you not watch wrestling back then? Everybody cheered when Hogan posed.
So everyone, so Lucas made a really good point
I
in
was
chat.
just going to answer that. Go ahead, Eyes.
If the storyline is clearly leading to an upset, and the upset happens, is it really an upset? Very, very well said, Lucas. I agree. We saw the storyline with WrestleMania. We saw what was going up for a year long. We kind of saw the writing on the wall somewhat, maybe not fully, but it's somewhat there. We kind of anticipate what's going to happen. All right.
So you will say that WrestleMania was not an organic movement by the fans, and that was all booked.
We're talking upsets here. We're not talking.
No. Answer my question, please, because that's the basis of your argument that it's leading, and it was black and white, and it was leading straight to it. So please explain to me. You saw that it was booked straight for a year. Explain to me how. Go through it.
We saw Daniel Bryan having the odds stacked against him. Basically.
So the fan reaction, the rushing the ring, the yes standoff, that was all booked a year in advance. All of that. That's what you just said. It was clearly leading to it. So explain to me the booking process if it was that clear.
I think he said that at all.
That's what he just said.
No, he said it was a storyline that led up to WrestleMania where we saw he was
I'm sorry, the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. Go ahead.
He said the storyline over that year showed him overcoming stuff, and it led to that WrestleMania moment of it happening. And we're going into WrestleMania. We saw the movement that had happened and what the crowd had done and how he was booked going into that.
I'm sorry, but I believe the exact quote he agreed with Lucas was, if the storyline is clearly leading to an upset. So again, explain to me how it was clearly leading to the upset.
When he was in the main event and closing Raw every week, yeah, that for the 2 months leading up to WrestleMania, and dealing with Triple H and the Authority, who were the biggest heels in the wrestling business at the time, I think there was some clearness there. Yeah,
okay.
I do.
So let's go back to WrestleMania 2000.
One at a time.
Let me go real quick. There was a 4-way match in which all 4 of those guys were all in the main event every single week, and they all led up to that. And it was the first time ever in WrestleMania history a heel as Triple H walked out with the title. That was booked that way? Like, that was clear the whole way that he was going to win from that whole thing? What you're saying is if you're involved in the main event, you're clearly going to win. That's what you're saying.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. Again, you aren't really clearly understanding. I said they booked a guy that was overcoming obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and he was in the main event and closing every show. It does make sense that he might overcome one more obstacle at the end.
But then they threw another obstacle in.
Of course they did.
When Dave Bautista was thrown into this match. And now you say to yourself, okay, he is going to have his shot in the mid. Oh, wait a minute. Here comes Bautista back. Batista wins the Rumble. Now, here comes a legitimate threat along with this that the odds are probably going to be too damn big, and there's no way he's coming out of this. If it's just Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton at the end for the title, we may be having a different discussion. But the way Dave Bautista was involved in this created a wicked, unstable element that really kind of threw your predictability out the window.
So what happened was...
Hold on, let me get to Yaden real quick in chat. And yeah, no, I've never booked either, but these guys are telling me that it was that clear and obvious, so I'm wondering how they know. That was my question. They're saying it was clear and obvious he was going to overcome it. It's not an upset. So I'm just wondering how they know.
No,
dude, the quote Triple I agreed with. Again, he agreed with it. He said, I agree with you 100%, Lucas. If something is obviously leading up to that, obviously means it is obvious. You know it's going to happen. So again, explain to me how you absolutely knew that was going to happen.
Nobody said that we absolutely knew. You're putting words in our mouths. We're saying it was much more of a likelihood than
I kind of like my picks now.
the Kid beating Razor Ramon and Santino Marella, who you'd never even heard the name of, walking out of Milan, Italy with the IC title. It was much, much, much more likely that he was going to win. And to go back to what Maki had said about adding Batista in, well, actually, they added Daniel Bryan in. It was Batista versus Randy Orton was the main event. And then Daniel Bryan, with the yes movement, all this stuff, got added into that, which makes it sound more like he's going to win.
So it wasn't that obvious up until the Royal Rumble incident. It wasn't that obvious up until 2 months before. It wasn't booked a whole year in advance to be that obvious.
No, of course it wasn't.
Okay.
Who said it was booked? Obvious that he was.
Well,
who
Triple
said
H had been going on.
Nobody said at WrestleMania 29 it was obvious Daniel Bryan was going to be booked to win a triple threat main event at WrestleMania 30. Nobody said that.
Easy. I'm just going by what you two had said, where you were saying it had seemed for a year that storyline had been going on, and we'd seen him overcoming stuff for a year, and we'd seen this for a year.
Yes,
I'm just going by what you guys had said.
Yeah, as a result of the storyline that had happened when we got to WrestleMania, it seemed obvious that he might win and come out as a champion.
So to go off again, just to elaborate on my mindset of what Lucas's comment was. So what Daniel Bryan won the triple threat main event match of the World Championship against Batista and Orton. Okay, take the storyline out of it and the backstory out of it, and everything else. Take the history before it out of it. If that just happened, out of the blue, and then with no yes movement, no organic, fan growth behind him, take all that out of it, and Daniel Bryan just wins the triple threat match out of the blue for the World Championship. Is that an upset? Yes. Even more of an upset? Yes, absolutely. But because you have all this leading up to it, even if it's only a few months, and you kind of see, the stars aligning a little bit here, it makes it less of an upset. That's what I was trying to explain with Lucas's comment.
Are we okay?
Yeah,
Dude, I'm fine.
Because if you wanted, there's one last thing for me. If you wanted a Daniel Bryan upset, that to me is bigger upset, was when he won the world title. Was it Cena? And then that's when Triple H turned on him and called in Randy Orton to cash in. Him beating Cena was a bigger upset.
Yeah, we all know Roman Reigns beating Taker at Mania is the biggest upset ever.
So that was number 2. Was it roughly the same for number 1? Because you guys both were arguing with number 2 about the storyline, kind of dictated how the silver line or the outcome of that match was going to be.
Let's talk about number 2 again now.
Okay, well, hold up.
For 10 minutes.
We talked about number 2.
Echo just has a gas can right now.
I know. So Sunday and Eyes don't agree with number 1 also, correct?
Yeah, I disagree with number 1 as well, yeah. For the same exact reasons. We don't have to hash them out.
Yeah. No, I know.
And you're right?
No, I'm right that I disagree with it. Yes, I am right. That I disagree with it. That's what I'm right about. Like you said, opinions, we can all have them. I put my opinion out there. Somebody got offended by my opinion. I'm sorry, but I just made my opinion.
You're going to do a lot more to offend me, champ.
Well, somebody got upset with my opinion. Put it that way.
So
2 very different words with very different meanings. So how...
This is going to be the last one, and then we're going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
How can we not call Brock Lesnar beating The Undertaker
The streak.
upset
Streak.
at WrestleMania for the damn streak? How is that not an upset?
I never said it wasn't an upset.
Oh, shit. Echo Redeem Sunday has to say you're right for 5,000.
He did. Yeah, that's why I said he's pouring gas on the foot.
But I never said it wasn't an upset. I actually said it was an upset. But I just don't think it's a big upset when it's Brock Lesnar, a guy that's a former WWE champion, former IWGP champion, former UFC champion, coming in and beating him. That's why it's not a number 1 all-time upset. Is it an upset? It's an upset.
Okay.
Like I said, no different than the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Buffalo Bills today.
Allow me to use
Bills were favored. The Bengals win. It's an upset, but it's not an all-time NFL upset.
Let me use your own argument against you from the last one. Okay, you want to talk about how everything was leading up to it. What has more history than the Undertaker being undefeated at WrestleMania? And you think he was going to lose? No, you think he's going to lose to
I knew he was
Lesnar?
losing at some point. He
Oh, again, I'm sorry, the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Hey, you have to let him finish.
The Undertaker was going to retire undefeated at WrestleMania?
Yes.
Well, then you don't know the Undertaker. He would never have let that happen.
Do you?
Ever.
Did he win the last match? Did he win his last match? Isn't it
Yeah.
you always go out on your shield?
Yeah, but he was never going to let that live. He's the one who said he wanted Brock to beat him.
I'd love to find that clip. You find me that clip. I'd love to hear it.
Reported several times. Sorry.
Okay, find it then. Find it. If it's
Boys,
been reported several times.
This is why we don't do top 10. And Hunter Dillon's got a point. Never do top
Free
10.
entertainment, Yaden.
Why is this conversation worth arguing over?
Free entertainment.
No, that's why we don't do top 10s. It's absolutely ridiculous.
All right.
And this is not the first time that we've all gotten into legit arguments over top 10s either. It's not the first time. And
Well,
it takes
if
to see my
somebody
result.
redeems another top 10, we're going to be doing another top 10.
Is it worth it though? Is it worth it? Because it takes the steam out of the show and it kills the entertainment. So
Actually, we have first time chatter. Literally, I love the energy.
Thank you.
Oh, I can give you different energy. Trust me.
No, we saw that last week. You don't need to do that again.
I can give you energy. All right. Trust me.
We like doing this show every week. We don't want to get kicked off.
You haven't been kicked off in 3 years. You're fine.
Wow. Look at all the fire. All right.
It's fight night.
It's always fight night when it comes to top 10s. That's it. You're all kicked off.
That's it. We're all done. Cool. Later.
That's
bye.
fine.
Cool,
Yeah,
bye.
I agree with you for once. It's my bedtime. I completely agree with you.
Go eat your Italian ice. Biggest
Damn
upset
straight.
ever.
Damn
Triple I
straight.
loses to the Italian ice.
You know what? Me not having Italian ice that night, that's a freaking upset right there. That's the upset of the century right there. That's even more of an upset than the Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar. That's an upset right there for you.
The list is the list. And at the end of the day, we can always blame it on chat because they voted.
I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do this no more.
See,
I don't
told you.
want to do this no more.
He said upset how many times there? Yeah, exactly. All right, chat. We knew it was too good to be true. Come on now. All right. Let's wrap this up, shall we? Okay. Go over there. God. Buzzing all night. Anyways. So that is our top 10 list. We are going to be putting that up into a graphic within the next couple days. I'll let that one sit for a few. Let everybody mellow down because apparently arguments happen with these top 10s. So, are you guys just doing that on purpose?
Energetic banter.
My phone is just going the hell off right now. All right. Just so you guys know, starting Tuesday, there is going to be new time change here for Charged and Recharge. On Tuesday, starting at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, will be the new airing of Charge. They'll be premiering that. And then right afterwards, at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, you will get the Dudes and Belts Recharge with myself, Coast Crusader, Marky Pins, and, of course, the voice of Ignition, Lucas Bradwell. That is what's coming up on Tuesday. So you guys get to look forward to new time changes and a lot more earlier content on the Rocky Mountain Pro channel. Other than that, I think we are definitely going to be sitting on this top 10 thing for a little while before somebody else puts in another 500,000 channel points.
Next time, I'm taking the fine. I'm not showing up.
I'm taking the fine. I'm not showing
I'm taking the fine. I don't care what the fine is. I'm taking it. I'm not showing up.
As of right now, we have nothing else going on at the moment, but I think there is going to be a small announcement on Tuesday about what's going to be happening with the YouTube channel. So make sure you tune in for that at the very least. Other than that, YouTube, it was fun. We had no argument for about 2.5 hours, and then just going over the list. I knew it was too good to be true, and it was going to be at that part too. It always is. Where is the button? Okay. So yeah, we did what you guys wanted us to do. You guys got what you paid for. I hope you're happy.
Save
Remember,
the money.
save the money next time.
Save your points next time.
All right. Just remember, it's all on you, Chat. It always is.
And always will be.
I think it's a great list.
It's really not that bad.
Not at all.
All right. For myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Colts Crusader, Marky Pins, the Sunday Night Savior, and Triple I. We will see you guys, YouTube, on Tuesday night for another episode of Dudes and Belts Recharge. Remember, new times, charge at 6 p.m., recharge at 7 p.m. As always, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one.